Good evening. This regular meeting of the Socorro ISD Board of Trustees will come to order. The date is Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. The time is 6:01, and we have a confirmed quorum. Of note, Ms. Macias is joining us virtually. Thank you for joining us for this meeting both in person and online via our YouTube stream. The full recording of the meeting will be available on YouTube and archived through the board website, where viewers have the option of watching the meeting with closed captions translated into multiple languages. Gracias por acompañarnos en esta reunión tanto en persona como en línea a través de nuestra transmisión de YouTube. La grabación completa de la reunión estará disponible en YouTube y se archivará a través del sitio web de la Junta, donde los espectadores tienen la opción de ver la reunión con subtítulos traducidos a varios idiomas. Thank you. One of our outstanding students from El Dorado High School will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. Senior Andres Gil has dedicated the past 4 years to El Dorado High School's marching band, where he has demonstrated his talent, hard work, and perseverance. In November, Andres, the band's drum major, proudly led the Aztec band onto the field at the Alamo Dome to perform at the 2024 UIL 5A State Marching Band Championship, marking the first time in the school's history. Academically, Andres has excelled at El Dorado, ranking an impressive 13th in his senior class. He is expected to graduate next June with over 30 dual credit hours. Additionally, he has emerged as a leader on the basketball court. As captain of the boys basketball team, he aims to lead the Aztecs to victory in his final season of high school. Andres is excited to start college next fall, where he plans to study kinesiology. He credits his success to his mom, a high school counselor who is also his biggest supporter. Please join us in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisibly, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Andres. Let's give Andres Gil a round of applause, please. Continuing with our agenda, we have the interim superintendent's comments. Mr. Vasquez.
Good evening, President Nahara, members of the board, and welcome to our entire community. Thank you for being here this evening, and thank you, Andres, for leading us in the pledge, and congratulations on all your successes. I'd like to start off by introducing some new leaders to SISD. We have our new Chief Financial Officer, David Solis. We also have a new Director of Budgeting and Financial Services, David Gutierrez. Both great additions to the team. Congratulations and welcome. So I've been visiting our campuses and meeting with faculty and staff over the past several weeks, giving them updates on the latest information here in the district. I've been to over half of our schools, and we've had some great discussions, and I look forward to visiting the rest of the schools in the coming weeks. I'd also like to recognize Herschel Antwine Middle School and Manuel Puentes Middle Schools for being designated Texas Schools to Watch through the National Forum to Accelerate Middle School Grades Reform and the Texas Association of Secondary School Principals. They are among 70 campuses across Texas that earned the distinction for having strong leadership and a commitment to assessment and accountability to bring continuous improvement to their campuses. Both schools will be honored at the Making Middle School Matters Symposium in March in Austin and the National Forum of Schools to Watch Conference in June in Washington, D.C. Congratulations to both of those schools. I also want to thank our campuses for paying tribute to our veterans in the community last week. in honor of Veterans Day. There are many great events and activities at our schools, and I want to thank all our veterans and active duty military members for your service and sacrifice. We appreciate everything you do to protect us and our nation. And finally, I want to wish Team SISD a great holiday break next week for Thanksgiving. We'll be closed all week. I hope all of you have a well-rested vacation and a well-deserved vacation with family and friends. I'm grateful to our awesome team for all of their service that they've provided and all of the support they've provided me over these past several months. Want to wish our parents and students and their families a very happy Thanksgiving as well. This concludes my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Vasquez. All right, continuing with our agenda, board honors. Mr. Escobar, please.
Good evening, President Nakara, members of the board, and Superintendent Mr. Vasquez. My name is Daniel Escobar, Chief Communications Officer for the district, and it is my pleasure to introduce tonight's recognitions. If you can all please step down to receive our honorees. And before we begin with those formal recognitions, I'd like to invite our pledge student, Andres Gil, to the front to take a photo with our superintendent and board of trustees. Thank you very much, Andres. Our first recognition honors the winners of the second annual SISD Dia de los Muertos Showcase. Out of more than 400 submissions across the elementary, middle, and high school divisions, 9 SISD students were recognized for their outstanding contributions. In the Altar Division, a 5th division, 4 high school teams were selected based on their impressive altar designs, with 1 school receiving the top prize. The showcase featured a variety of Dia de los Muertos artwork, including colorful sugar skulls, vibrant paintings, and mystical creatures. Congratulations to these talented student artists. They are, absolutely. From Mission Ridge Elementary, Ian Chaires Marquez. His teacher is Cristo Jurado Alacon. From the Escontria STEAM Academy, Alanis Hernandez. Teachers, Margarita Romo. From Puentes Middle School, Abigail Ramirez Guerrero. Teachers, Karina Alvarez. From Enzer Middle School, Camila Peña. The teachers, Melissa Arellano. From Montwood High School, Jacqueline Vargas. Teachers, Joseph Mitchell. From Montwood High School, Alexander Jauregui. Teacher is Karen Ortega. And the winners from the Altar Division from Eastlake High School, Uriel Fuentes. Trinity Graves. Africa Gutierrez Ponce. Azur Longoria. Silvana Mijares Garcia. Kayla Phillips. Santiago Piñón. June Ruiz. And their teacher is Lucia Cimental. If we can have you all back to the front for a photo, please. Just a quick note, as they are gathering, that all of the portraits taken by our district photographer, Mr. Largo, are posted on the district website. There's a smiley face icon where it'll take you to our Smug Mug account, and the photos are available for free high-resolution download. And parents, you also are welcome to come up and take a picture next to Mr. Largo. Keep smiling, hold up your certificates. Congratulations once again. Next, we will honor two student athletes who qualified and competed in the 2024 UIL State Cross Country Championships. These remarkable athletes showcased their dedication and represented their school, our district, and region with incredible spirit and pride at the state meet. Congratulations to these outstanding America's High School athletes. Lexi Salas. Diego Romero. Their coaches are Victor Ruiz and Ken Lucero. If we can have the four of you back to the front, please. Congratulations once again. Next, we recognize a high school girls cross country team for winning the 2024 UIL 25A District Championship. The team had an outstanding season, placing first in the citywide cross country invitational at Pebble Hills and Pebble Hills Cross Country Invitational. Several players, athletes, received their individual accolades, including 2024 Team All-District 25A Champion and 2024 Team All-District Bronze Medalist. Congratulations to these outstanding athletes from America's High School. Giselle Abascal. Isabel Bali. Carly Day. Annabella Escobar. Leila Morales. Lexi Salas. Lilia Yanez. And their coaches, again, Victor Ruiz and Ken Lucero. Congratulations once again. Oh, good. Now we're good. Thank you for that, Mr. Next, we will recognize a high school tennis team for winning the 2024 UIL 258 district and by-district championships. The team finished the season with an overall 14-4 record, and they won district title with an undefeated record of 6-0. Several players received individual accolades, including winning the boys and girls by-district singles matches. Congratulations to these outstanding athletes, again, from America's High School. Claudia Burke. Andrea Calderon. Italia Martinez. Daniela Olea. Claudia Reyes. Johanna Serrano. Ruby Vela. Brianna Villalobos. Joseph Altamirano. Oscar Alvarez. Nathan Briggs. Sergio Cordova. Nico Farina. Christopher McDonald. Isaac Parra. Jonathan Perez. And Coach Armando Gallego. Congratulations once again. Next, we will recognize 2 exceptional educators and 8 outstanding SISD school counseling teams for positively impacting the lives of children. 2 of these educators are elementary school counselors who were named semifinalists and finalists for the Lone Star State School Counselor of the Year Award, which honors outstanding school counselors who advocate for Texas students and support their success. The counseling teams from elementary, middle, and high schools have been recognized with the 2024 Lone Star State School Counselor Association Award. This prestigious award honors exceptional counseling programs for their outstanding efforts in delivering comprehensive support to all students. The award features bronze, silver, and gold levels. Congratulations to these dedicated educators. The finalists, semifinalists from Carrasco Elementary, Patsy Carrillo. From Jane A. Hambrick School, Angie Lopez. Our Bronze Award winners from Ben Narberth Elementary, Sara Castillo. From El Dorado High School, Chrissy Alferez. Willie Herrera. Brisa Morales. Mireya Reyes. Sonia Ugarte Gil. From Waco Elementary, Sandy Rulon. From John Drugan School, Sonia Arostegui. Reynaldo Leiva. From Slider Middle School, Claudia Butler. Lisa Dieter. Our Silver Award winners from Paso Norte Fine Arts Academy, Rebecca Estrada. From Sunridge Middle School, Gloria Herrera. Ivan Padilla Alvarez. And our Gold Award winner from Salvador Sanchez Middle School, Elizabeth Quintana. If we can have you back to the front for a photo, please. One more. Almost there. Congratulations once again. Next, we will honor an outstanding school counselor who has been named the 2024 Texas School Counselor of the Year. With 11 years of experience counseling, this individual has devoted her career to supporting children and helping them achieve success. She is also one of only 5 finalists for the National Counselor of the Year Award. Congratulations to Rosa Rodriguez from Chester E. Jordan Elementary School. Congratulations once again. For our final recognition, we will honor a high school marching band for advancing to the 2024 5A UIL. UIL State Marching Band Contest for the first time in school's history. The band competed against 38 other high school marching bands from across Texas at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio on November 4th. They had a remarkable season, placing at the T-Bird Marching Invitational and receiving superior ratings and best in class at the EPISD Marching Invitational. Congratulations to the El Dorado Aztec Marching Band. As we recognize the members of the band, they're going to step outside to the stairwell. We'll take one large group photo there. After that recognition, parents are welcome to join us for that photo opportunity there. We will begin with assistant band directors, Annie Aguilar, Anthony Irigoyen, Jennifer Romero. Members of the band, Jaylene Aguilar, Elizabeth Alarcón, Akane Adley, Keitana Almaraz, Ryan Alvarado, Joaquin Alvarado, Ethan Anchondo, Joey Aras, Viri Diana Arzola, Paula Avalos, Senia Avalos, Mia Barron, Sebastian Balin, Christopher Becerra, Dalia Bernal, Tyler Bristow, Jordan Britton, Francisco Bustos Limón, Leonardo Calderón, Zechariah Carrasco, Leonardo Casilleja, Jacob Eli Castillo, Jaime Castor, Matilde Cordova, Richard Krum, Kai Cruz, Bailey Dorbanier, Arabella de los Santos, Jocelyn Devora, Angel Dominguez, Madison Durham, Alondra Enriquez, Joel Escobar Favre, Alaya Esparza, excuse me, Anne-Marie Espinosa, Joe Espinosa, Isabela Figueroa, Adrian Frias, Marco Frias, Noah Garcia, Andres Gil, Rylan Gonzalez, Haley Guerrero, Regina Guillen Estrada, Alba Gutierrez, Mia Gutierrez, Natalie Denise Gutierrez, Kareem Hernandez, Gloria Hernandez, Joshua Hernandez, Genesis Hernandez, Naomi Herrera, Mariah Hester, Aubrey Hita, Devin Huerta, Marco Jimenez, Brian Koloff, Bentley Coons, Ricardo Loera III, Brennan Lopez, Alondra Machuca, Ian Mumbola, Jocelyn Martinez, Reina McDonald, Natalie McLeod, Chris Angel Mejia, Irvin Melgoza, Vania Mendez, Gabriel Montes, Adrian Montes, Natalie Moreno, Emily Moreno Valdez, Dalen Munoz, Jacob Murphy, Felipe Navarrete, Gracie Navarro, Davon Navarro, Pamela Navarro Uruesga, Andrew Nevarez, Desmond Oriot, Jose Ortiz, Ashley Palacios, Pablo Jesse Pacias, Naum Peña Dominguez, Diego Peña Dominguez, Jimena Ponce, Naomi Porras, Jerry Portillo, Nikolai Reagan, Isaac Ramirez, Julieta Maya Ramirez, Brianna Ramos, Ruth Renteria, Evan Ritchie, Miranda Robles, Julio Rodriguez, Alyssa Rodriguez, Michelle Rodriguez, Diego Rodriguez, Jasmine Rold, Alistair Rosales, Mia Ruiz Badillo, Ethan Salcido, Levi Sarinana, Aiden Saucedo, Brandon Saucedo, Mandy Silvestre, Ian Sunderman, Kevin Talamantes, Daniel Tomlinson, Elsie Torres, Denise Torres, Kimberly Torres, Dante Urquide Coronado, Marcos Valdez Dominguez, Alina Vasquez, Itzel Vázquez Samarin, Dominic Villarreal, Alexis Williams, Crimson Wingy, Damian Wood, Zamari Zaini, Samantha Alvarez, Vanessa Breceda, Jay Bird, Madeline Camacho, Ariadna Castor, Genesis Dominguez, Zoe Gardea, Jasmine Olguin, Daphne Escobar, Alma Mikanich, Carlos Mena Mojica, Nidia Escobar Nunez, Helena Reese, Jasmine Soria, Kimberly Tafoya, Marlene Valdez, Marley Vasquez, Cheyenne Weldy, Kennedy Wilson, and their director, Cesar Hinojos. That's awesome. If we can have our trustees and superintendent please join the band out in the stairwell. Parents, you're welcome to join them there as well.
Are we ready? Ready? Okay. That was the end of board honors and special presentations, so we continue with item number 6, Board of Trustee business. 6A, discussion regarding proposed language for BED regulation. We have one speaker signed up to speak specifically to item 6A. Each person who signed up was provided a copy of the open forum basic rules and advised when they signed up that policy BED applies. We're speaking on BED regulation. Policy BED applies to the process. Please respect the process during your presentation. A reminder, each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes. We will proceed with the comment for item 6A. Mr. Alfredo Agüero, please.
Good afternoon. I asked if it was possible to talk in the end of your presentation, Mr. Najera.
Speakers typically go before the agenda item so that the board can consider what it is that you have to say, Mr. Agüero.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alfredo Agüero, and I'm a community organizer in the area of special education and hub coordinator in El Paso, Texas for Time Down Organization, founder and support group for parents empowering parents in special education. First of all, I want to thank you for approving the possibility of having a Spanish-English interpreter for people who requested it, and also thank you for having the option of subtitles in Spanish for entire meeting in the YouTube application. I want to know if there will be an application on the Socorro School District website to be able to request the help for interpreter and make it easy to access, since many things are difficult to find. Thank you again. The preservation of our own culture do not require contempt or disrespect towards other cultures. Quoted by César Chávez. La preservación de la cultura propia no requiere desprecio o falta de respeto hacia otras culturas. Citado por César Chávez. Gracias a todos por esto. Gracias.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Agüero. So during the last board meeting, we had a couple of requests. Well, we had a couple of requests for translation service, and while we use YouTube, we discussed the need to address this and maybe establish a regulation or a policy around it so that we could, number one, set clear expectations so that the community knows if they need translation services, how they go about it. We're able to allow staff sufficient time so that the arrangements can be made. And we have it documented so that we're consistent, which is critical in establishing and maintaining community trust. It's clearly documented so that we know exactly what we're going to do and the community knows what to expect. As we learned in Lone Star governance, that's integrity, right? So that's what's before us here. This is a regulation, so we don't need to adopt, but is there any discussion? No? Okay. Thank you. Then, just to note, I'm sorry, translation services, as stated in the regulation, need to be requested at least 48 hours in advance of the meeting, and requests are sent to translations@sisd.net. Translations@sisd.net. Okay, thank you. 6B. We have several speakers signed up for item 6B, discussion and possible action to consider the K through 12 Educator Bill of Rights School Board Resolution. Our first speaker is Ms. Veronica Hernandez.
Thank you. Good evening, President Nájera, Interim Superintendent Vasquez, and members of the board. My name is Veronica Hernandez, and I am speaking to you as the proud president of the Socorro American Federation of Teachers. As committed members of our school district community, we urge you to approve our resolution in support of an Educator's Bill of Rights. As you are aware, Our district, like so many others across Texas, is facing a dire financial situation and an untenable struggle to retain teachers and staff. Last year, the Texas legislature failed to provide any new funding to our schools through the basic allotment and failed to pass any bill to improve the working and learning conditions in our schools. Our union and its members statewide have developed an Educator Bill of Rights to bring to the 89th legislature. It outlines 10 essential rights for our educators, from teachers to support staff, that will stem our staffing crisis and guarantee better outcomes for our students in the process. It includes the right to reasonable working conditions, including a defined workday, adequate time to teach, safe schools, and reasonable class sizes. The right to fair wages that reflect the worth of educators' work, the right to a secure retirement, the right to access affordable quality childcare, the right to a healthy, safe, and secure working environment, the right to academic freedom, the right to meaningful training and professional development, the right to organize and engage in collective bargaining, the right to democratic representation in matters affecting their profession and retirement, the right to teach in public schools free from religious indoctrination. What makes our Educator Bill of Rights different? It was developed by educators and for educators through in-person and virtual drafting workshops in the spring and summer of 2024. We mean educator in the fullest sense, with an agenda that reflects the priorities of all our members, certified and classified K through 12 and higher education, active and retired. There are no one-time stipends masquerading as a pay raise here. Our package of legislation calls for exactly what our members say they want, and it starts with a root issue in Texas, the lack of state funding in our neighborhood public schools. But that is not enough for educators to stand in support of these measures. We need support from our administrators and our elected board as well. We're asking that you support our resolution avowing your support of the Educator's Bill of Rights and demonstrate your true support of our district employees and, by extension, the students they serve. Thank you.
Our next no more speakers. So the request is to consider and approve the Bill of Rights. Questions? Comments?
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am. Oh. Hi there. Thank you for doing that. Yes, ma'am.
The one comment that I have is thank you for standing in solidarity with public schools. The one thing that I would like to share is that in opposition of the use of public education funds for all vouchers and all voucher programs, I know that you tied it to particularly religious education, but that's just my feedback. That thank you for always supporting public schools. That would be the one thing that I echo, opposition of using public education funds for all voucher programs.
Anything else?
Motion to approve?
I second.
A motion to approve made by Mr. Guerra, seconded by Ms. Gardea. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution passes. Moving on then to item 7. Public hearing for the Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas, known as FIRST. Mr. Solis.
Good evening, Board President Nájera, board members, and Mr. Vasquez. The Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas, or School First, is the state's school financial accountability system designed to ensure that Texas public schools maintain high standards in financial management practices. Each year, school districts are required to announce and conduct a public meeting to present a financial management report. This report provides detailed information about the district's ratings and its performance across various indicators for both the current and previous year. The 23-24 ratings are based on data from the 22-23 fiscal year and are evaluated across 21 indicators. The first 4, known as critical indicators, are assessed on a pass-fail basis. The remaining indicators are scored on a point scale, with each indicator contributing either 5 or 10 points. This table outlines the rating scale, point ranges, and corresponding designations based on the points earned. Districts can receive one of the following ratings: A, superior achievement; B, above standard achievement; C, meet standard achievement; or F, substandard achievement. For the 23-24 rating, based on fiscal year 22-23 data, the Socorro Independent School District once again earned an A rating, or superior achievement, with a score of 94 points. This compares to a score of 96 points achieved in the previous year. 6 of the 21 indicators are classified as ceiling indicators. If the district fails to meet the threshold for any of these indicators, it is capped at a maximum score, regardless of the total points earned across other indicators. This is outlined in the accompanying chart. Indicator number 1 simply asks, was the annual financial report filed on time or within 30 days of the TEA deadline? As shown for both years, the AFR was filed well in advance of the deadline. Indicator number 2 determines whether the district's external auditors issued an unmodified opinion on the AFR, indicating that the financial statements are presented fairly and in accordance with applicable standards. Indicator number 3 ensures that the district has met its financial responsibilities by confirming the timely payments of all bills, obligation, and financing arrangements. Indicator number 4 verifies that the district has met its payroll-related obligations by ensuring timely transfers of payroll withholdings and payments to the Teacher Retirement System, Texas Workforce Commission, and the Internal Revenue Service, as well as fulfilling any additional requirements payroll-related, required payroll-related obligations. Indicator number 5 evaluates whether the total net position in the governmental activities columns of the statement of net position as reported in the AFR is greater than 0. A positive net position reflects financial solvency and stability. Indicator number 6 assesses the percentage change in the assigned and unassigned fund balance over a 3-year period to determine whether fund balances are declining too rapidly. If the decline exceeds 25%, the district must maintain at least 75 days of fund balance to pass this indicator. For the current year's rating, the 3-year average change reflects a 6.33% decrease. A review of the most recent audit indicates that the change in assigned and unassigned fund balance at the end of this past fiscal year could impact this indicator in future ratings. Indicator number 7 evaluates how many days beyond the end of the fiscal year the district could fund its operating expenses without receiving any additional revenue. Districts with 90 or more days of cash on hand receive the maximum points for this indicator. Notably, cash on hand decreased by 33 days, which led to the 2-point decline compared to the previous year. Based on the most recent audit, I anticipate a similar reduction in cash on hand for the 23-24 fiscal year. Indicator number 8 evaluates whether the district has sufficient short-term assets at the end of the fiscal year to cover its short-term liabilities. The ratio decreased from 3.1937 to 2.6733, resulting in a 2-point decline compared to the previous year. Indicator number 9 asks, did the district spend more than it earned? It's worth noting that a district can still pass this indicator if expenditures exceed revenues, provided it has at least 60 days of cash on hand. Although the district's expenditures exceeded revenues by $11 million, the district had more than 60 days of cash on hand, allowing it to earn the maximum points for this indicator. Indicator number 10 was not evaluated as it continues to be paused for the 23-24 rating. Indicator number 11 evaluates whether the district's ratio of long-term liabilities to total assets is adequate to support long-term solvency. The district earned the maximum points for this indicator due to a net increase over 1,000 students in enrollment during the 5-year period from 2019 to 2023. This growth resulted in a 2-point increase compared to the previous year. Indicator number 12 assesses the district's ability to meet its debt principal and interest payment obligations. Although the ratio decreased slightly from 5.25 to 5.16, the district maintained the same number of points as in the previous year. Indicator number 13 measures the percentage of district's budget allocated to administrative expenses. This indicator evaluates spending on Function 21, which is instructional leadership, and Function 41, general administration, in relation to expenditures on Function 11, which is instruction, Function 12, library services, Function 13, curriculum and staff development, and Function 31, guidance, counseling, and evaluation services. Although the percentage increased slightly from 5.32% to 5.98%, the district maintained the same number of points as in the previous year. Indicator number 14 evaluates whether the district's total staff has declined in proportion to a decrease in student enrollment over a 3-year period. If student enrollment does not decrease, the district automatically passes this indicator. From 2021 to 2023, the district experienced an enrollment increase of 782 students, resulting in the district earning the maximum points for this indicator. Indicator number 15, as indicator number 10, was not evaluated and continued to be paused for the 23-24 rating. Indicator number 16 is a data quality metric that evaluates the accuracy of the district's financial data reported to PEEMS and in the AFR. This indicator ensures that the financial data aligns in both reports with no more than a 3% variance allowed. Indicator number 17 assesses whether the district's external auditors identified any material weaknesses in internal controls within the annual financial report. Indicator 18 evaluates whether the district complies with laws, rules, and regulations governing grants, contracts, and other state and federal funds. Next year's rating for this indicator is expected to be affected due to the miscalculation of the district's tax rate. Indicator number 19 assesses the district's compliance with legal requirements for financial transparency, ensuring that all mandated information is publicly posted. Indicator number 20 evaluates whether the administration and the board have adequately reviewed and considered the impact of changes in local, state, and federal funding. And finally, indicator number 21 determines whether the district had an adjusted repayment schedule in place for any over-allocation of foundation school program funds. This is a new indicator beginning this year. As part of the Financial Management Report, Texas Administrative Code Chapter 109 mandates the inclusion of additional disclosures to ensure transparency and accountability. These disclosures include the superintendent's employment contract, reimbursements received by the superintendent and board members during the fiscal year, outside compensation or fees received by the superintendent for professional consulting or other services during the fiscal year, gifts received by executive officers and board members during the fiscal year, business transactions between the school district and board members during the fiscal year, and any other information deemed useful by the Board of Trustees. At this time, I'm happy to address any questions. I would also like to remind the board that it is required to solicit public input regarding the financial ratings achieved.
Dr. Hinojosa?
Yes, sir. While, Mr. Chair, members of the board, while this report is positive, I do need to put you on notice that next year, this is lag information for a year, and next year's report will not be. as positive as this because of some things that the board has had a lot of courage to take on and has discovered recently. And so in all true transparency, I needed to indicate that to you.
Thank you, Dr. Hinojosa. Any questions? No, well, this being a public hearing, we do invite anybody who would like to speak to the first report to the podium. As a reminder, you do have 3 minutes.
President Nahara, Interim Superintendent Mr. Vasquez, members of the board, I'm Philip Thomas Lane, and I'm grateful for today's presentation. I noticed a decline in the rating from last year to this year, and I can understand some of the concerns that Dr. Hinojosa had mentioned, and I'm concerned about what's going to happen in the future. I think the board and many of the teachers and people who work for the district are dead set against things which will negatively impact the district in the future. There's a lot of opposition to school vouchers. I do think because of work the governor has done during the election that school vouchers could likely pass, and that'll be a financial issue the district will have to look on as we move through the year. Looking at the report, the one thing that caught my attention was one of those supplemental reports on the reimbursements made to school board members. And I can understand that those reimbursements were probably for going to conferences, trainings, whatever. But there were huge differences in the amount of reimbursements made to school board members, from as little as $0 up to over $15,000. And that's a huge difference in the amount of reimbursements made to school board members. And when it comes in a summary report and I'm looking at the information, I have no basis to evaluate why those expenditures were made. And a recommendation I would have for the board to consider might be, just like the superintendent gives his comments at the beginning of the school board meeting, maybe the board president might provide comments on the activities of school board members outside of the school board meeting, because I know you all have your committee assignments and you do go to school functions and you go to conferences and so on to benefit the school district. And I think if you were to adopt that, I think it would be a lot easier for members of the public to digest. But I do think in the next year, there's going to be a lot of financial strain on the district, and all of the effort that you've been working on during this past year is going to have to continue forward to continue to make a difference to keep Socorro headed in the right direction.
Any additional speakers? Okay. So the public hearing is closed. Mr. Solis, is there anything else we need to this item?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Solis. Continuing then with our agenda, open forum. Again, each person who signed up was provided a copy of the open forum basic rules and advised when they signed up that policy BED applies to the process. Please respect the process during your presentation. Again, a reminder, each speaker is allowed 3 minutes. Our first speaker is Jessica Malik.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Jessica Malik, and I'm a parent for my children at Bill Seibert School. And I stand before you today as a parent advocating not only for my children, but for many families at Bill Seibert School. Many families are too afraid to stand up for fear of retaliation from the administration. I'm here because I'm already facing that retaliation, and I really have nothing to lose. Bill Seibert is a home for many, many transfer students, yet the school constantly reminds the families of their fragile nature of their enrollment. The newsletter often states that transfers can be revoked based on attendance, grades, or discipline, creating a climate of fear instead of a climate of collaboration. The atmosphere has declined severely since the current leadership. From inconsistent policies to ill-prepared decisions, the administration has created unnecessary confusion and risk. For example, students in the 8 portable classrooms have to access just one toilet, one for boys and one for girls. When these restrooms are unavailable in use or being infested by the mosquitoes, children are denied access to the main building to use the restroom. This is cited for safety concerns, and I have a hard time understanding why the students are in the portables. Safety is less important than the students in the main building. Extreme heat dismissal procedures were poorly managed, causing chaos, even safety risks. Many children were released to individuals without proper verification, and celebrations of students' achievements have been diminished, making mistakes during award ceremonies left children sitting in disappointment, watching their peers receiving recognition when they were told they would get the same. The parents pressed for answers, and they were told that parents were testing the administration. As a parent of a child with special needs, I faced numerous violations of the IDEA law and the district policies. My requests for drafts of important documents have been ignored. I was pressured to sign an IEP without review, and accommodations and plans have not been followed. My son was in crisis, and I was reminded that his transfer could be revoked at any moment. This hostility has extended beyond my family, many other families dealing with similar struggles, and the toll in our community has been immense. We're calling for a change in leadership to restore trust between parents and administration, proper training in IDEA law and district policies to ensure every child receives their right to a free and appropriate education, and immediate action to create safe, supportive, and a respectful environment for all students and families. Our children deserve better, and parents should not have to live in fear for speaking up for their children's needs. We demand accountability, fairness, and a culture that prioritizes safety, equity, and success. Thank you for your time.
Vasquez, can we look into the situation at Bill Seibert?
Yes, sir, we'll take care of that.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Julie Bucker.
First, I want to say this is really intimidating. This is when we came in and there was such a large group, my heart I just wanted to turn around and go, because this isn't something I do. But I'm here tonight out of desperation. I'm asking you to help Richard, who is a 2nd grader in the dual language program at Bill Seibert School as a transfer student. He's been there since kindergarten. He had been very successful. He'd made the AB honor roll and excelled in his program, even though he had qualified for special education for the last 2 years. By the end of last year, he really began to have difficulty with behaviors at school and home. He began to go backwards in his overall development. His mother, my daughter, began the investigation as to why this was happening. And recently, Richard has been diagnosed with autism, level 1 to 2. By 2 separate doctors. He's started ABA therapy for autism, and it is helping. The district is still evaluating him to see if he's autistic at school. At the beginning of the school year, when all the IEP meetings were held, several ARD meetings, his mother provided many tools and options to assist his teachers with Richard's learning and behavior. Strategies and interventions were added to the IEP. However, there is no data to show that these strategies or interventions were followed or used. Close to the 9-week intercession, the principal at Bill Seibert School called Richard's parents into a meeting where they were informed that as a transfer student, he could be sent back to his home school for his behaviors and academics. The fact that his IEP was not being followed did not seem to factor into this decision. His mother contacted the school district to ask for help, and at first she was hopeful. Some positive responses were returned. But after the continued ARD meetings, this hope disappeared. Through much research and educating herself, she found that the IEP that the IEP was not being followed, the law was not being followed, and that the IEP had many mistakes. She has been respectfully advocating for Richard and has been met with increasing resistance. Richard has two sisters who also attend Bill Seibert as transfer students, and they have been reminded by the district office that their approval can be rescinded and that all three can be sent back to their home school, which feels a lot like retaliation. Another example of retaliation is the very day his mother sent an email stating that corrections to the IEP needed to be made, requesting that data that the interventions were being followed, the school called CPS. An investigator came out to the house. The investigation ended quickly when they found out all of the different things his mother was doing to help him.
Ms. Pucker, I'm sorry. The time is, your time has ended.
Let me just finish by saying we're out of options and we're asking for help.
Thank you. Mr. Vasquez, can we look into this situation as well, please?
Yes, sir, we'll look into it. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Christopher Bunton.
Evening. Ladies and gentlemen of the board and members of the community, I'm here to talk about being overdeveloped yet underprepared for my job as a teacher with Socorro. According to the Texas Education Agency, classroom teachers must complete 150 CPE hours. No more than 150 CPE hours are required. CPE stands for Continuing Professional Education. I repeat, directly from TEA policy, no more than 150 CPE hours are required every 5 years. 150 hours every 5 years works out to just 30 hours each year. A workday is 8 hours, so with 4 workdays, we get 32 hours. 4 workdays are all that is needed for a teacher to meet the state's requirement for CPE credits. Why, then, does SISD require roughly triple the amount of CPE credits? The evidence of SISD's excessive expectations is right here on our academic calendar, where we can see 11 staff development days to just 3 teacher workdays. 11 days at 8 hours per day equals up to 88 developmental hours a year, but the state requirement is only 30. SISD has double booked developmental days in 3 specific places: October 14 and 15, January 6 and 7, and March 24 and 25. We can see on the current calendar that these 3 back-to-back days are coded green and booked for teacher in service, and yet it was Rosie Perez, president of the West Texas Alliance Teachers Union, who fought specifically for the second day on each of these occasions as a day to be given to teachers to use as they see fit. I propose that SISD amend the current calendar to reflect this truth. October 15, January 7, and March 25 should be coded orange, not green. They should each be designated as teacher work days, not in-service days. After making this adjustment, SISD will still have 8 days coded for staff development, meaning that this district would still be forcing its teachers to obtain fully double the amount of state-mandated CPE hours. Furthermore, while SISD is comfortable expecting 2 to 3 times the amount of maximum required training, they simultaneously staff their schools with the minimum legal number of full-time employees. That is right, ladies and gentlemen of the public. You should know that Socorro knowingly understaffs its schools and hides behind the state policy regarding the minimum legal requirements for staffing personnel. For 5 consecutive years, I have had multiple classes of 40 students. So on the one hand, SISD provides its schools with the legal minimum number of personnel. On the other hand, SISD seeks to triple the state's maximum requirement for developmental training for those same personnel. Not only do you overfill your classrooms, but you then strip your teachers of the time they need to prepare for those overfilled classrooms. Please amend this year's calendar and ensure that your teachers get at least some of their time back to prepare for their classes as they see fit. We would all prefer to no longer be overdeveloped, yet underprepared. Give us something to be grateful for, if you please, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker, Latrell Archer.
I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it so I can get my time. Socorro needs to take their employees' actual experience into consideration when making decisions. One of the moments you chose not to consider what was best for your educators and staff was when you changed our insurance in 2022. When that change came into effect in 2023, your employees felt it. Appointments that were once covered came at a cost. Medication prices increased. That choice that you made directly affected our income, and the fallout continues as we continue to get shafted in regards to insurance. You also chose to bank on appearances rather than what your staff actually needs, allowing Nate Carmen to be on the bid review committee for architectural projects. During Carmen's time here, he was supported in building the SAC 2 STEAM academies and more. You were busy creating schools, turning schools into STEAM academies, which made no real difference except for how you can sell it to the public. Whether you call it a school or an academy, if it's understaffed or staffed to the bare minimum, that is not what the community needs. The state needs to review the full-time employee equation. This equation gives campuses the bare minimum and has teachers scraping by. Teachers feel like nickels that you're trying to get dimes out of. Tell me why 5 years in, I still have classes of 40. A past teacher from our campus told me once that she had a dream that she was getting arrested for murder, a nightmare. In her dream, she felt relieved that she would not have to go to work the following day because that's how overwhelmed we are. Now let's get into other ways that the district takes advantage of our time. Seizure training, 58 minutes. Copyright training, 26 minutes. Back injury training, 21 minutes. Bloodborne pathogens, 22 minutes. Hazard communication, 25 minutes. Slip, trips, and falls, 16 minutes. Cybersecurity, 22 minutes. Standards of conduct, 57 minutes. Title IX compliance, 44 minutes. GT hours, 6 hours. I personally have not been given the time during our professional development to complete these trainings. Tell me why instead a college graduate as myself with a 4.0 GPA is given an hour-long professional development on taking notes when there's obviously better uses of my time. Okay. I am an elective teacher. While all educators have unreasonable expectations placed on them, the fine arts or electives have more responsibilities outside of school hours, but we are giving the least amount of planning time. Due to the demanding nature of being a fine arts teacher, we should be giving a seconds conference or planning period, and that is something that would actually make a tangible difference. My lunch is about 30 minutes. Once I grab my food, I'm lucky if I get about 20 minutes to eat it. Despite this, I only have one planning period, so I still consistently work into my lunch practically every day. The state of Texas and SISD continue to act like a corporation, sucking its employees dry. You need to do better and make tangible differences. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Elizabeth Lopez.
Good evening. So once again, good evening. I am Elizabeth Zamaripa Lopez, and I'm a proud educator of 20 years within SISD. I currently teach at Pebble Hills High School, college prep teacher and English 1 freshman teacher. I would like to acknowledge our amazing campus at Pebble Hills High School, as they're with me in spirit here today. I have the privilege and honor of working with some of the most dedicated and extraordinary teachers who exceed expectations daily. I feel grateful for my Spartan family. I am a witness to their endurance and dedication to our students every single day. And we don't end our work day at the end of the school day, because as teachers, we take our work home also. As educators, we are the foundation and in the front lines in ensuring that our students attain a well-rounded education and foster a nurturing environment conducive to learning. As a mentor, as a teacher, and sometimes as a second parent to these kids. I am here today to advocate for not only my Spartan family, but for my entire SISD family. We deserve a raise. We reserve the right to a fair wage for all the sacrifice and dedication we exhibit as educators. I understand that our school district is unfortunately enduring a financial situation. However, in speaking to many colleagues and family members from various campuses, we feel that we are punished even though we are not at fault for the financial issue the district is enduring. Why should we pay the penalty in not obtaining our well-deserved raise or bonus? We do our job and go above and beyond. We are often given more tasks and handling too many pans on our stovetop, so to speak. We are held accountable for standardized testing and so many other tasks, yet without attaining a raise or bonus. My husband is also a teacher in our district at Socorro High School. He's a physics teacher. And we spend our own money for certain supplies to provide valuable lessons for our visual and kinesthetic learners. Also, aside from those expenses, our health insurance is another issue. Our deductibles are too high and not enough full coverage in most cases. Many of us, such as myself, have medical appointments or procedures for serious medical issues, and our plan does not provide sufficient coverage. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and her medication is not covered by the insurance anymore, so it's out of pocket. So I will end with this. Our district motto is that we are all in. But many of us feel left out, burnt out, unappreciated, and exhausted. The denotative term for all in is to be fully committed or involved in something, giving
Ms.
your
Lopez,
complete effort and
I'm
taking
sorry. Your
significant
time has run out.
risks to achieve a goal.
Ms.
Essentially
Lopez.
putting everything you have into something without reservation. We as educators
Thank you, Ms. Lopez.
deserve a raise. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Tommy Hill.
Good afternoon, Mr. Vasquez, President of the Board, Mr. Nara, the rest of the board. Okay, I've been talking about transportation and how much it saves the district on using our own buses. Even though they're not charter buses, we do have Thomas-built buses with 100-gallon gas tanks that can do the job as some. Like I'll be taking a trip this Tuesday to Carlsbad in one of our Thomas-built buses, and that right there, just on that trip, will save you, this district, over $3,000 per that trip. Now, what do we got coming down the drain? There's gonna be mass deportation that's gonna run the prices up on charter buses, so we need to think outside the box. How are we gonna save money once those charter bus rates, even though they're high right now, are gonna skyrocket? They are gonna skyrocket to where each time that we use one of our own buses, it's gonna save us over $5,000. Right now, it's $3,000. So we need to think about this, and we do have the drivers to do this. And we have the buses to do this. So in the future, we need to do more of these trips on our own drivers, our own buses, and the district will have a great savings for this per each and every trip. We need to do this going forward because there's crunching of money, and this is going to save us some money. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Mr. Alfredo Agüero. Mr. Agüero, while you're walking up here, we typically allow 5 minutes for a speaker who signs up for more than one item. I did not advise you of that before, nor did I ask you how you wanted to split your time. So since I did not advise you of that limitation, you'll get the 3 minutes.
I'm gonna use the 3 minutes. Okay. Good afternoon again. Today, I came just to say that thanks for all the support that the parents group is receiving from Mr. Vasquez to be able to carry out the special education workshop. So parents with children in special education learn their rights and responsibilities so they can advocate for their own children. Mr. Vasquez, I want to remind you about the request to see if it is possible to include us, the parents group, in the meeting that are being held about alternative programs for students with disciplinary problems. We make the request to Dr. Carmen Olivas Graham, Director of Administrative Services, and she said that she will let us know about the next meeting. Please do not forget about this because it's very important. I'd like to ask also if it's possible to create a community oversight committee to help the parents with special ed kids. Thank you, and we look forward to working together for the benefit of the students. I'm convinced that the true act of courage, the strongest act of man, is to sacrifice ourselves for others in the total nonviolent struggle for justice. Quoted by César Chávez. Estoy convencido de que el verdadero acto de valentía, el acto más fuerte del hombre, es sacrificarnos por los demás en una lucha totalmente no violenta por la justicia. Citado por César Chávez. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Leith Labrado.
Good evening, Board. My name is Leith Labrado. I'm with Texas Used Clothing. It came to my attention that at the last board meeting, Mr. Samaniego, what's his last name? Carejo, said some very disparaging things about myself personally and about my company and what I do with, how I work with the schools in the Socorro Independent School District. We have the blue clothing and shoe donation bins at some of the schools. We've been working with the district for over 10 years. And we found out that he was hired to say these disparaging remarks. I have been in contact with Dr. Olivas Graham. I have sent her all the paperwork showing about how all these allegations were false. I usually work with the student activities directors at all these schools, at Americas, at Pebble Hills, Montwood High School. And I just wanted to put a face to the name. Reach out to you all if you all have any questions of me. Ms. Olivas has all my information, and just wanted to say, just put a face to the name. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that was our last open forum speaker. We'll continue with item number 9, district reports. Item 9A, district-wide intruder detection audit report findings. Mr. Livermore.
President Nájera, fellow board members, Superintendent Vasquez. An intruder detection audit was conducted in the district by Education Service Center Region 19. Findings will be shared with the district School Safety Security Board Committee and the Board of Trustees. A plan of action is in place and will be shared with the trustees. Thank you.
Thank you. 9B, facilities report. Ms. Fierro.
Good evening, Board President Nájera, members of the board, Mr. Vasquez. I'm Liliana Fierro, Director of Facilities and Construction. Tonight presenting the facilities report. Starting with the 2017 budget, right now, as of today, we have available balance of $1,157,459.92. And as I mentioned before, Finance Department, they're still working in some pending items, so maybe this number will change, okay? Next board meeting, we'll present the final numbers, and Finance Department will explain the final numbers, okay? Is there any questions on the budget?
Ms. Fierro, by presenting the final numbers, does that mean that once those final numbers are presented, then bond program 2017 will be closed?
Yes, and it's depending on the final decision of the construction of the new maintenance building.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Fierro.
So moving on to the school safety non-bond projects, school safety and security grant. Right now, we have package 1 to be approved by the board tonight, presented for approval tonight. And we have package 2. It's currently in the bidding phase. Package 3, it's in design phase. And our plan is to do the first advertisement in January 7 for package 3. Is there any question on this project?
No questions.
That will be all.
Now that's it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on with the next item, we have 9C, Strategic Plan, Priority 2.3, Employee Satisfaction. Ms. Stiles or Mr. Carmona?
Just wanted to make sure.
We lost Ms. Nahara.
Oh. Okay.
She has to be physically present for us to continue.
Thank you, sir. Give us a minute, Mr. Carmona, please. Since Mr. Blanco did not have a mic, Ms. Cynthia Nájera stepped away. We need to have a quorum in order to hear the presentations and act upon them, so we're going to wait.
5 minutes. Recess? I'm not sure where she went.
I think she'll be back.
Let's take a short recess.
Okay, 5 minutes. Take a short recess for 5 minutes and we'll be right back. apologize for the short recess. We'll continue then with 9C, Strategic Plan Priority 2.3, Employee Satisfaction. Mr. Carmona.
Good evening, Board President, Mr. Nájera, Interim Superintendent, Mr. Vasquez, members of the board. My name is Mario Carmona, HR Director over Employee Benefits and Risk Management. Tonight, I have a brief presentation for you regarding the school district's priority 2 of the strategic plan, specifically on 2.3, staff success and satisfaction. I will be focusing on strategic action 2.3C, maintain competitive and equitable compensation for employees, about health benefits offered to eligible employees and dependents. Additionally, I will briefly review the progress and long-term measures that will continue to be utilized to monitor our performance and forecast. Some of the progress measures that we're going to be going over include market competitiveness, benefit accessibility and awareness, equity analysis and plan participation, and employee satisfaction. I'll start with progress measure, market competitiveness. We will benchmark offerings against industry standards and area health service providers. We will look at the long-term measures, work with insurance consulting firms to assist school district administration in identifying and employee needs, current benefit offerings, research various alternative plans, and compare provider services and quotes. Continue to offer a plan for health with comprehensive coverage with different premiums and deductibles, giving employees the ability to choose the plan that best suits their individual needs and circumstances. In respect to progress measure, benefits accessibility and awareness, information sessions and surveys to measure how well employees understand and access their benefits. As you might already know, we have conducted and hosted several presentations where different levels of positions, to include administration, have taken part and have provided feedback to administration. So the long-term measures continue to educate employees and their covered dependents to ensure that they are familiar with the options that are available, to choose based on their healthcare needs and learn how to maximize benefits from each plan features, continue to boost active enrollment and encourage all eligible employees to take advantage of the benefits offered by the school district. And lastly, encourage all plan participants to participate and become informed consumers. Be aware of the substantial increase in healthcare costs and pharmacy expenses nationwide. We are glad to report that during our last open enrollment period, the participation improved thanks to the employee campaign held over the last several weeks to include during the open enrollment period. As you may already know, the employee campaign was a product of many departments participating and coming together, collaborating to include the direction of our superintendent, you, the Board of Trustees, with suggestions and some ideas that were provided to us during our presentations. Cabinet, our conservators, TAA, Mr. Kim, was very involved in the activities in terms of conducting the surveys and obtaining feedback from our participants. In respect to progress measure equity analysis and plan participation, we focus on cost-sharing features through a value-based insurance plan designated to address healthcare needs of employees and their covered dependents. The long-term measures is to use demographic data to assess utilization, cover groups accessing specific benefits and/or in-network healthcare providers, screen the multi-year plan approved by the board, and monitor health fund revenue and expenditures in an effort to achieve moving from a deficit to a zero balance fund, and hopefully to have enough funds within the account to be able to cover our own medical expenses. And lastly, the plans and the changes that were approved If I'm not mistaken, in the last month of August, all this will become effective as of the 1st of January 2025, to include the district contribution per employee per month from $575 to $555. And this in turn will assist in the expenditures or a cost avoidance from the school district, going from a 3.8 million to a 2.8 million on an average. This will total within a year or a 12-month period of a cost avoidance of at least 1.2 million. And as you can see, one of the goals that we were able to achieve through the education campaign is to increase awareness in regard to the features that are offered through the consumer-driven health plan. So we tripled the current enrollment from about 300 to a little bit over 900. At this point, I don't know if there's any feedback or any questions.
Questions? No?
Thank you.
Continuing, we have a consent agenda. No items to be pulled. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion to approve the consent agenda made by Mrs. Cindy Nájera, seconded by Ms. Alice Gardea. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. Moving on to new business. 11A, consider approval of audit report for fiscal year 2023-2024. Mr. Solis.
Good evening again, Board President Nájera, board members, and Superintendent Vasquez. My name is David Solis. I am the Chief Financial Officer for the district. At this time, I would like to introduce representatives from GRP, our district's auditing firm, who conducted this year's audit. Joining us today is Managing Partner Vanessa Alarcon and Lead Auditor Sonia Sanchez, who will present information regarding the audit for the most recent fiscal year of 2023-2024.
Good evening, Board President Nájera, members of the board, and Superintendent Mr. Vasquez. If you'd like to follow along, you can skip over to page 202 in the bound report that was handed over to you, and that'll give the summary of the auditor's results. There's a similar package that was included with the board packet. That was a draft version of the annual comprehensive financial report. And so we'll go ahead and get started. In the front of the ACFR, which in the first they'll refer to it as the AFR, but the school district, it's comprehensive because it has statistical tables in the back and there's a lot more information in there. And so in the front of your ACFR is the first report. That's the independent auditor's report. That one there, we have a clean opinion, which is formally referred as a unmodified opinion. What that means is that the financial statements have been prepared in accordance with GAAP and that the financial statement amounts are materially stated. Now, there are two other reports in the back of the ACFR. There's a yellow book report, and then there's another report for the district's federal single audit for the federal grants received by the district. Your federal single audit letter, that as well has a clean opinion on the major programs tested. There are no findings, and there are no question cost. Now, with the yellow book letter, unfortunately, for the yellow book letter, since we perform the audit in accordance with government auditing standards, we have to report any significant deficiencies, material weaknesses, and material noncompliance. And so unfortunately, this year there are two findings. And if you want to skip over to the next page on page 203, That'll give the different elements of the finding. That first finding is related to the property tax matter. And so that matter is material noncompliance as well as a significant deficiency. The material noncompliance is that the tax rate that was levied on October 1st, 2023, which is in the fiscal year that was being audited, was above what's permitted by law. And so there's an amount owed back to the taxpayers. That refund has been booked on at June 30th as a liability. You'll find it under accounts payable. There's also a note, I believe it's note G, in the financial statement, so you'll see it segregated out. And so what it means is there's $2.3 million owed back to the taxpayers. That liability, my understanding, management has been working with the tax office. That money is going to be paid over to the tax office, and the tax office is going to issue the checks to taxpayers. So we're reporting the material noncompliance, but also a significant deficiency over the internal control of ensuring that that tax rate is in accordance with statute. So in the past, the CFO was the only person responsible for reviewing and preparing that tax rate. Management has prepared a corrective action plan that was also included. If you go to page 205, that is on management's letterhead, and that is their response, that is their plan on addressing both findings. So for the first finding, the budget director will prepare the tax rate, and the CFO will review and approve that tax rate. And if necessary, they'll involve a knowledgeable third party to review the tax rate for accuracy if that is needed. Now, for the tax rate that was just levied on October 1st of 2024, which is in your current fiscal year of 25, that one, management that had to step in had already reached out to that knowledgeable third party to ensure accuracy. So this new procedure will be going forward of including the budget director and then approval from the CFO. The next finding is related to bank account reconciliations, and this is specifically for the district's payroll account. And so when we started our audit and we got the initial bank reconciliation, there was an unreconciled variance of approximately $1.9 million. That amount was researched, investigated, because we can't move forward with that significant amount of, that material amount of a unreconciled variance. So it was researched, adjusting entries were posted, corrected. However, the internal control portion of it is that the bank reconciliations should be reviewed timely. We can't go month to month bringing forward an unreconciled variance. That needs to be researched immediately. And so in accordance with management's plan, they have discussed this with staff, let them know how important it is that if they are having trouble or need additional assistance in investigating a variance, to bring it in a timely manner instead of holding off on it. I will add, though, the team and the staff, there was a transition in your ERP system this year, and that did take away a lot of time and effort, and also having to steer a new system and learning that new system. So I do believe, and management believes, that also attributed to this situation, because we haven't seen that occur in previous years. Are there any questions on the findings? Okay.
Questions? No questions.
Okay. We've also prepared a graph presentation, so I'll move on to that next. All right. Okay. The first graph we prepared is the district-wide revenue. So this is revenue across all the district's funds over the last 5 years. Overall, you'll see that there's barely a small increase over the prior year that approximates 1.2 million. But within the categories, there's been huge shifts where local and federal revenue have declined and our state revenue has increased. So I'll get into the details of that. Your state portion saw an increase of approximately $37 million. And that's mainly due to the foundation formula. But what happens is the homestead exemption that was that the voters had approved in November increased the homestead exemption from 40,000 to 100,000. So the taxable assessed values declined. So that decreased the property tax revenue on the local side. And there's an inverse relationship between local revenue with property taxes and state aid. So if that declines in property taxes, your state aid will increase. So that's where we saw the increase in state aid revenue for the decline due to a homestead exemption. There was also increases in certain state grants for T-class and school safety standards, which was the bullet resistance film grant, and then also just increases in the TRS on behalf. For federal, which is the gold portion there, that had a decline of 21.5 million. And this is pretty much showing the closing, or as we close out the ESSER funds that had been injected these last few years. So there's those ESSER funds are finishing out, but also the SHARS program, the School Health and Related Services program, that also saw a decline of $2 million. And that had been announced statewide that all districts were going to be seeing a decline in that revenue source. And then in the local portion, we did discuss the decline there is mainly attributed to property taxes, but also a decline in your investment income, which is tied to the using up of construction funds, but also the decline in your cash on hand. The next graph is the same information as the previous, but just in a percentage form. So you'll see the shift where the increases in the state and the declines in local and federal. And you'll see the gold portion for federal in 21, 22, and 23. It started to increase, and that's because we were getting those infusions of the ESSER funds. And now that those are going away, that percentage is going to start dropping off. And the only reason that it's as high as it is in 2024 is because of the rebate amount that you all got for the school bus, which did help offset some of that federal grant money from ESSER. So that's going to decline. The federal will continue to decline. The next graph is the expenditures in the district's general fund. Overall, within these functions, there was an increase of $42.8 million over the prior year. As any district, your largest expenditure is payroll and benefits. And across the board, across the functions, the increases related to the 4% raises, the retention bonus, even though the amount was less, it was funded out of the general fund in fiscal year 2024 versus being funded out of an ESSER fund. And so you have those two explanations across the board. And then in instruction, so I'll start with instruction, which is the largest portion that we spend those expenditures on, which is functions 11, 12, and 13. In instruction, there was close to a $20 million increase, and that has to do, again, with the raises, the retention bonus, but also an increase in substitute cost. I think those approximated $3.4 million, and then along with a new campus, East Lake Middle. So we had that, and then as well as iPads. The next category is instructional and school leadership in gold. Those are your functions 21 and 23, and that had a increase of $2 million. Again, payroll and benefits, and then also some lease copiers. The next category is student support. They're in red. That is functions 31 all the way through 36. And that increased almost $15 million. And the rebate that we got on the electric buses and the infrastructure, the related expenditure is in this red category here in function 34. And then as far as payroll and benefits, there was also an increase, a $3 increase per hour for your bus drivers. There was more bus drivers, more bus monitors added to function 34. The next category is the smaller salmon color, which is administrative and governmental. And you'll actually see there was a slight decrease, but there was an increase in payroll and benefits, and you all had the forensic audit as well that would hit that function. So those increases were actually offset by decreases in legal services, travel, and election cost. And then the last category we have is for facilities, security, and data processing. Those are functions 51, 52, and 53. For function 51, again, across the board, we've got payroll and benefits. In function 51, close to $1.5 million in payroll benefits, and then utilities, another $1.5 million increase there. For function 52, we've got payroll and benefits of $2 million. There was a new assistant director for emergency management, new cross guards added, and new police officers added as well. And then function 53, we have the ERP system purchase. So overall, payroll in the general fund did increase when you think of salaries and the related increases to fund TRS, retirement and all of that. That was a total of $28.6 million in your general fund. If we look across all the funds and just your overall increase in payroll and benefits, that's still a $10 million, a $9.5 million increase over the prior year. The next graph we have is the breakdown per the dollar. So what this means, or how this translates, is out of every dollar we spend 62 cents on instruction, or 8 cents on instructional and school leadership and so forth. And what you'll see is in the red category, the student support, that increased 2 cents over the prior year. And then the offsets were a cent in instruction and another cent in facilities, security, and data processing. And that 2 cent increase is mostly attributed to the electric buses. That's the dollar for the prior year. This next graph we have prepared is for the amount of state revenue or expenditures per pupil. So what we do in the red line is we take the state revenue in the general fund and we divide it by the district's refined average daily attendance. And so that equates to $8,000 per pupil on the state revenue side. And then we do the same with the expenditures. We take total expenditures and divide that by refined ADA. And that gives us $12,133 for fiscal year 2024. So what this means, or what you can come away with, is below the red line, that's being funded by the state. Anything above the red line is being funded either locally or with some small portion of federal funding that's in the general fund. And you'll see that the gap is widening above the red line. We continue to see expenditures increase in the general fund. 2024 is a little bit not skewed, but it's more impacted with the purchase of the electric buses, because it's still part of your general fund expenditures for 2024, but you had offsetting revenue for that. So, but it was federal. It was considered federal revenue, not state. Okay. This next graph, I don't know if we want to stand up, come down. The district's general fund balance. So there's been previous presentations. We know that the district has been having to wrestle with the fund balance and trying to ensure, looking at spending and where reductions can be made. You'll see in 2024 how big of a reduction the fund balance has taken. And so you'll see it in total, it went from 97 million down to 50 million. And that's in over just 1 year that it took that hit. And your unassigned fund balance is the blue portion there, where you were at 73 million and now you're at 46.4 million. This is as of June 30th, 2024. And the district has a local policy where there should be 75 days of expenditures. You're at 33, or you were at 33 at June 30th. Beginning at the pandemic, in 2020, you were at 80 days. I went back even further and I looked at 2016, we were at 112 days. Your local policy has a range. Your policy is you don't want it to fall below 75 days, but if it reaches 105 days, we want to also start spending that down or looking at tax rates or other things where maybe we don't need to charge taxpayers. So there's this range that you want to keep it at. For 21, starting with the pandemic and then shortly thereafter, the other kind of issues or the other kind of explanations are the types of federal funding that school districts received. The ESSER funding was actually considered supplemental. So you could supplant, actually. Most federal grants are you have to supplement, not supplant. And so with ESSER funding, a lot of districts, like you all, pretty much use general fund expenditures to be paid with ESSER funds. So what that did is it left money or the fund balance to show operating increases for those years. So that's why those fund balances were still high in those years, because we were able to shift our general cost over with ESSER funding. The other item that's attributed to the decline in the fund balance has been the transfers from general fund over to your health fund. We do have another slide, so I'll go into that in more detail, but that is also another factor that I know that you all are well aware of. This graph just shows the district's refined ADA, and so there's a slight decline from the prior year of 305. And again, this is based on the attendance rate. Okay. For the workers' compensation fund, this is one of the district's internal service funds. And so this fund is healthy. Even though you'll look at it and your revenues are less than your expenses, so we have been operating at a loss, but it's intentional because we've had a higher net position in that fund. So the intention of management was to use up some of that net position instead of having to make any additional transfers or look at rates and change rates. So management will continue to monitor that and then determine if rates need to be adjusted year over year. So this graph is the district's other internal service fund, which is the healthcare fund. Internal service funds are operated kind of like businesses where we have a revenue source, and then we want to make sure that we're self-sufficient and not operating at a loss. And so the healthcare fund, I know this has been a top board priority. There was just a prior presentation. The district has implemented design plan changes that are going to take effect January 1st. So those changes were with the objective of making the fund self-sufficient or at just a minimum to break even. So there's with the enrollment numbers now and with the claim costs, there is just gonna have to have close monitoring of that fund to see if those design plan changes are sufficient, if additional plan changes are going to be needed. And I know you all received presentations as far as what those were, like increases in the employee premium or closing out the premier plan where new teachers can no longer be on that plan because it is a very high cost plan to the district. As far as claims, it's just the claims are more than what the district charges. And to point out the relationship between this graph and the fund balance, you'll see the light blue, the transfer in. That's the money we've been supplementing or subsidizing this fund out of the general fund. And if we've added up those 5 years, in the last 5 years, we've transferred $32.8 million from the general fund over to the health care fund. The net position at the end of 2024, though, is positive, and there is $7.1 million in there. So in our discussions with management, with the design plan changes that are upcoming, if there may need to be a little bit of a transfer or maybe none at all because this net position can absorb that, but the expectation is that it shouldn't be what it's been in the past. And the other thing is because your original budget doesn't have a provision for a transfer. It's always an amendment to the budget once it's determined that amount. So that's another item to point out. Are there questions on this graph? Okay. And then as, I think, yeah, that's the last one. As David pointed out, and the conservator as well, is these results will impact your first rating. And so there's an expected decline, a negative impact to your first rating because of the material noncompliance, the declines in your fund balance. So you have your ACFR. There was also another document that we passed out, and that's for the management letter. And if you can pull that, the management letter is from us to the board, and we make recommendations for tightening controls, improving procedures. But I did want to point out some of them that would be interested for you all. The majority of them, they're for management. Their team's going to take care of it. But if I can bring you to the number 3, the minimum fund balance in the letter. And let me get. Okay. So again, this one is just pointing out 75 days is your local policy, where we're currently at 3233. The district adopted a deficit budget for fiscal year 2025, and if that's going to be the way it is, then that's going to further decline those days of expenditures, and so and then also impact your first rating. But as we know, district finance is not easy. There are MOE requirements that you have to satisfy. There are unfunded state mandates that have to be considered. So we know that you are looking at this closely, and so it's just trying to ensure that reduction in the expenditures, or that we find the revenue sources if we're incurring additional expenditures. The other management point is number 13 and 14, but really I just want to spend time on number 14. And in your ACFR, if you were to go to Exhibit G1, that would be your original to your budget to actual. And you'll see in the revenues portion that there was an unfavorable variance of almost $30 million on the revenue side. And so that's also where if we budgeted for revenues but we didn't get them, that's going to impact the bottom line. And so what we're understanding is There was no amendment made for the local property taxes for the homestead exemption impact of reducing those property taxes. So I want to bring this to your attention because I know you all get budget to actual data, and things like this is where you would want to scrutinize and question, and management would also be looking at this, and the amendments should be brought to you all. So, but you can see there that was the biggest contribution to why revenues were unfavorable. And then if you go the second column to the right, that's your actual. You can see where we started at 97 million at fund balance and we ended at 47 on there. So, okay. Are there any other questions? Okay. I would like to thank the finance team because they have worked tremendous and long hours because we had to deal with new reports with the system, and for Renee and Susan also stepping in while there was a vacancy. So we do appreciate all the effort. And again, for Sonia, who was in charge on the audit. And thank you, David. We look forward to working with you.
In regards to observation number 3, I just want to give the board some perspective of what it would take to get us back to 75 days, because I think that's an important question, right? The 33 days was based upon expenditures of $517 million. We adopted a budget of $479 million. What that means is, in order for us to achieve the 75 days, we would need unassigned fund balance to be around $100 million. So, you know, we have some ways to go. But just to give you some perspective of what that would be, we're looking at about $100 million to be in compliance with policy. I know the GFOA recommends 90 days, and that would be around 120 million. But I just wanted to provide you all with some perspective of what that number is, because I know that has been asked in the past, and so I just thought I'd just mention that. I think I would also be remiss without taking a moment to acknowledge and express my gratitude to the finance team and the directors for their hard work and dedication during this difficult audit process, and also extend my thank yous to Vanessa and Sonia for their efforts and patience through this audit process.
Mr. Nahid, I do have just a couple of questions.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. One of the things that came up was, of course, we no longer have ESSER. Did we leave any ESSER money on the table, or did we expend all?
Ms. Macias, I did confirm with the team, as of this month, we have expended all ESSER funding.
Perfect.
At the mic, sir. I'm sorry, Ms. Macias.
And actually, according to Mr. Starkey, we actually left $8. But for the most part, we exhausted all of our ESSER funding.
You can't even get a Big Mac combo for that, man. I've tried. $8.76 out of $164,455,000 and change.
Dr. Starkey.
Way to go, Dr. Starkey. I love your beautiful mind. Love it.
Name and role, please.
Oh, Director of State and Federal Programs, sorry.
Thank you, sir.
The other question that I had was in the student support section. I know that it was mainly due to the electric buses, but it was offset by revenue. So I completely understand that. On the instruction side, 20 million. Could you just, high level overview? What did that 20 million entail? And it was a 20 million increase, I believe.
Correct. The 20 million increase was 17.4 million in payroll and benefits. And so you've got, part of that is also an increase of substitute costs of 3.4 million. And then for the Eastlake Middle School, that was the 4.8 million. So of the 17.4, we've got the 4% raises, we've got the retention bonus, plus another 3.4 in substitute cost. and another 4.8 for the new campus, Eastlake Middle. And then you've also got 3.7 million for the purchase of iPads.
Yeah. Thank you. And then, well, truly what I heard as far as the negative impact, thank you for clarifying that, is refined 88 went down. And I know the team is doing everything they can. I know that, you know, we have declining enrollment that can't do much with that, birth rates. But I know that they have an attendance initiative. Just recently, they highlighted some of our campuses for going above and beyond. I think Americas was one of them, so kudos. So we're working on that. Substitute cost you mentioned, that's another thing that our team, correct administration, and working on as far as minimizing the cost of substitutes. I can't remember what plan you had, Mr. Vasquez, but I think I heard you all share that in prior meetings. And then the third thing, the other big thing that I heard was, of course, transfers from the general fund to pay for the health, for our health balance or our health fund. And that's also something that you have brought to the board for us to address. Is there anything else that you've seen or that can be done? And you know, that 100 mil, that's a big number, and thank you for sharing that. It puts it in perspective for us to get to the 75 days. What else would you recommend?
Let me weigh in here. You asked some great questions. So there are some fundamental blocking and tackling that need to occur. Not reconciling the bank is inexcusable. You have to know exactly where you are on a cash basis all the time. So, but the good news is that fixing a budget and fixing your accounting and fixing your finances is linear. But it takes courage, and it takes discipline, and it takes people having to say no to things that staff are going to want. And it's going to take a little while. This is not going to be an overnight sensation. But our plan is that the 2 years that we are here, we're going to set you up with the systems. But we're not going to be here to have the courage to have the physical discipline that you're going to need going forward until you get into that place. It's doable. It's a little painful. But fixing student achievement and making sure all your students are college and career and military ready is much harder. And it's not linear. So it's just going to take patience and discipline to fix this part. But we can fix it. But you have to pay attention to your audit report, and you have to have the courage to say no to expenditures that are not there. And so we'll know a lot more of where we are in the next quarter. 18 months from now, I don't want you to even think about a 5-year plan. I want you to think of an 18-month plan. And every quarter you get new information about student enrollment, about staffing, about all of this stuff that matters, about making sure that your accounting is appropriate. And so we're going to go down this journey with you for the next 18 months. Andrew Kim and I will be here with you for the next 18 months, at least. And so we're going to help you say no. But I think it needs to start with management, and also the board has already started by some of the courageous votes that you took. But you got to support your new CFO. I'm so thankful he took the job. I went over and I asked him, "Are you sure? I'm glad you took the job. Are you sure you're happy you're here?" And he said yes. So we've got a team, but it's going to take all of us to be able to say no to certain things that are going to. I've been in much worse. At one time, I was a superintendent. We had a $32 million fund balance and a $64 million hole. And when I left that district, I left them with $700 million in the bank. So it can happen, but it's going to take time and it's going to take discipline. Mr. Kim, anything to add?
Thank you, Dr. Hinojosa, for putting it in perspective.
Anything else, Ms. Macias?
No, thank you.
Else?
Mr. Solis, so is administration's recommendation to approve the audit report for fiscal year 2023, 2024?
Yes, sir, it is.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion to approve made by Ms. Nájera, seconded by Ms. Gardea. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. 11B, discussion and possible action to approve certain 10 non-business days for the Texas PIA Act requests. Mr. Redlinger.
Good evening, Board President Mr. Nájera, Interim Superintendent Mr. Vasquez, and members of the board. My name is Mr. Thomas Redlinger, Director of Employee Relations within the Department of Human Resources. As per House Bill 3033, this House bill updates what is defined as a not a business day, i.e. holidays and non-business days. A non-business day may be designated by the school board where administrative offices are closed or operating with minimal staffing. A governmental body may designate no more than 10 non-business days each calendar year. This day limitation may influence Public Information Act requests and Attorney General opinion response timelines. Administration recommends consideration and approval that the district designate for the calendar year 2025 the following 10 non-business days. January 2nd, January 3rd for 2 days, November 28th, 1 day, and December 22nd, December 23rd, December 24th, December 26th, December 29th, December 30th, and December 31st, 2025, to total 7 days for a grand total of 10 non-business days.
Questions?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion to approve made by Mrs. Nájera, seconded by Ms. Gardea. Any further discussion? Mr. Redlinger, I remember this coming last year as well to us, so this is standard. The days are mostly consistent around the holidays, and I believe the last time that you brought this to us, you mentioned that it also happens to coincide with the periods where we receive the least amount of requests as well. So there's not a very significant impact or delay because of these non-business days designations.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, sir. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you, Mr. Redlinger. 11C, consider approval of City of El Paso Tax Office Resolution. Mr. Blanco.
Thank you, Board President Nájera, members of the board. Superintendent Vasquez, Steve Blanco, legal counsel for the district. I'm here tonight to present to you and ask for approval of 2 items. We'll take the resolution for the tax office work first. This comes about as a result of the overstated tax rate. We just heard about that in the audit. Everybody's familiar with it. In 2023, the district approved and levied its maintenance and operation tax rate in the amount of 0.7546 cents. That rate was later determined to be overstated and incorrect by the amount of 0.0166 cents. It's been quite a bit of work and a lot of meetings with conservators and Mr. Kim and your staff. I want to thank them, the city tax office staff. We've met several times, and the city attorney's office have been helpful. The city is on board, and they are going to be presenting their own resolution to the city council after we complete ours to authorize the work, and that will be to approve the interlocal agreement, which will come next. But the first step is that we need a resolution from the board to authorize the administration to enter an interlocal agreement and have the city tax office do the work. So the city tax office will be authorized to calculate and manage the refund amount and the corrected statements for any property that was subject to the overstated tax rate for the year of 2023. The city tax office will be authorized to report to the district the total amount owed for refunds that are identified as part of that work. That amount will be identified in the interlocal agreement as a total tax refund amount. The district is going to be responsible for funding this. That includes, obviously, the amount of the refunds and the costs associated with running and printing the checks that will be mailed out by the tax office. But because the tax office has the property information, and because they control that, and they want to make sure that they manage the refunds associated to the properties that were affected, they're going to handle that. So we're asking that the tax office be authorized to issue those corrected statements and the refunds to the properties that they identify that were subject to the overstated tax for the year 2023. And those funds will come from the account that's established through the interlocal agreement with the city. So our first order of business, and I'd ask you to approve the resolution. I just went over the points in the resolution. It's been provided to the board, authorizing the city tax office to handle the refunds that will be calculated as part of the interlocal agreement.
Questions?
Approve.
Second.
Motion to approve made by Mr. Guerra, seconded by Mrs. Nájera. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Moving on
Thank you.
then, Mr. Blanco.
So the next item that goes in line with the resolution that you just approved, and the reason it was done with the resolution first is because we needed something to present to the city council, and they're going to pass their own resolution. Through work, again, with the district staff, conservators, and Mr. Kim's help, and the city attorney's office, we've come up with an 8-page interlocal agreement that outlines the various duties of the parties for this work that's been presented to you. The agreement comes about through different drafts that have been circulated between the district and the city attorneys and the city tax office. It's been approved by the administrative staff. The next step is for you all to approve it, and then the city council will also approve it. So we're asking that you approve the interlocal agreement that's been presented to you, authorizing the calculation and management of the refunds and the corrected statements that were levied in the jurisdiction of the Socorro Independent School District for the year 2023, and to allow the city tax office to handle that work and issue those refunds.
Questions?
Second.
Motion to approve made by Mrs. Nájera, seconded by Ms. Gardea. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Thank you, Mr. Blanco.
Thank you.
Next, we have executive session. A meeting is to be closed for discussion with legal counsel regarding claim and demand from N. Carmen and possible resolution of claim, to receive and discuss the status of the recommendation of administration to propose termination of the probationary contract of L.A. Teacher of Special Assignment at the District Service Center, discussion regarding cause number 2023 DCV 0629, Larry Salcido v. Socorro Independent School District in the 346th District Court of El Paso County, Texas, and to receive intruder detection audit report findings for Chester E. Jordan Elementary School under Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. The date is Wednesday, November 20th, 2024, and the time is 8:33.
But we're not just a number. Here, we're cared for, we're loved, we belong. Temis ISD is a true Texas public school district that gives us unforgettable memories, traditions, experiences, and the opportunities we need to have a bright, successful future. Want to be a health professional? Once a bulldog, always a bulldog. Want to design skyscrapers? There's an empire for that. Have you heard the early bird gets the worm? Well, that's why they fear the falcons. We don't just rise. This is Sparta. We earn our horns and trailblaze and overcome to be the first and the best. I know, it sounds extra, but it's just our flex. For over 60 years, Socorro ISD has set its sights on our future with vision, innovation, investing, building, and planning to prepare us for the real world. These are our opportunities.
Socorro ISD offers 45 different pathways in CTE. We have added PTECs, Pathways in Technology Early College High Schools. We have 7 advanced academies, and we also, throughout the district, offer 7 early college high school opportunities for our students. So a lot of choices students have to make while in 8th grade so that they have a pleasant experience while in high school.
My favorite part of HPA is the fact that we get opportunities to go outside of school and go into hospitals, so we can actually get that hands-on and actually view what is actually happening in the hospitals and clinicals. Since I'm interested in being an RN, I got to talk to actual RNs about their experience, where they're from. We went to UMC, we went to Providence. I also got to do middle schools and elementaries. It really helps you build that understanding of how everybody's different, and you have to understand and care to their needs.
Because it is really a dream that if I was a kid, I would have never believed that I was doing all this stuff that I was doing in the program. They make me feel like family. There's a sense that I don't get in any other setting. When I'm at school, I don't feel like I'm at school. I feel like I'm doing something that I want to, and the day goes by quick, super quick. And it just gives that sense of well-being and family, and it really is a dream, because I would have never thought I would be in the position that I'm in.
The students can select up to 3 different programs or academies that they would like to attend, and through the lottery process, they're placed in those different academies or early college high schools that they choose. We've had over 80% first selection offered for our students.
The Libertas Academy is a law and government program where students can learn how to be lawmakers, law officials, learn about the government, how it was brought up, and basically prepare us for the future in some sort of government professional field. My parents and I, we actually thought it was a really amazing opportunity, even as a high school student starting your freshman year, that you get to start learning about these career fields, and that you get to really experience it firsthand, and you get to learn about these careers that you want to go into and get a step ahead of everybody else. It was just, we had to take it. It was an amazing opportunity.
The Academy provides a really unique experience because it offers students the rigor of not only college, but also kind of a taste of law school, which is really unique. It's something that we really don't have anywhere nearby. So I think that it's really, really cool that it provides that educational opportunity, but also it provides that community. A lot of people think that we're just all business, that we don't have fun, but we really have become like a family. I really have found some amazing friends, amazing professors.
It's taken a huge investment, not only in equipment, facilities, but also in maintaining our teachers' credentials, getting them training, keeping them up to date with current standards. Socorro has always been known as a progressive district. By what we offer our kids supersedes most other school districts across the state. And I have great confidence that we'll continue to progress with what's leaving our schools.
And we will seize them.
So our dual language program consists of 2 different types of models. We have the 90-10, which is for pre-K students, and this is where the students are in a classroom with 1 teacher. Depending on their first language, they're going to get 90% of the instruction in English, 10% in Spanish, or vice versa, 90% in Spanish, 10% in English. And then we have our 50-50 model, and this starts from kinder all the way to 5th grade, and this is where the students have 2 teachers where they're learning both languages, English and Spanish, 50 and 50% of the time, depending on the taught subject and language.
I can tell you it's full of excitement and engagement. Here the students get to create, they get to express themselves, and they have the opportunity to do it in both languages.
Porque han empezado desde chiquitos, entonces ya llevan mucho tiempo ellos en colaboración con los demás alumnos
y sí se ve que entre ellos mismos se apoyan. Tenemos parejas que son nuestras parejas bilingües, que viene siendo la fortaleza en un idioma, ya sea en inglés o el español, y están con otra persona que es el opuesto. Entonces, entre ellos mismos se apoyan, ya sea en el aula que viene siendo español o en el aula que viene siendo en inglés.
I'm proud to say that we have had great success. Right now, we currently have served 4 campuses. Our students have been very successful. So the goal of the program is that the students become biliterate and bilingual. By the time they end the program, they do achieve great academic level success. And of course, they stay in touch with their culture as well. Once the student completes 5 full years in the dual language program, then they can qualify for a Spanish high school credit.
Regardless if they're in the English classroom or the Spanish classroom, they have the same equal opportunities to practice all their domains, the speaking, the listening, the reading, writing. Ellos colaboran mucho, son niños que siempre van a estar hablando, siempre van a estar participando. Cuando una persona entra a nuestro salón, nunca va a ser un salón que no se escucha nada, y creo que es lo que a ellos les gusta interactuar. Tenemos muchas manualidades, utilizan mucho sus manos, y ellos pueden colaborar juntos, y es algo muy, muy especial que hacen ellos, esa relación también con ellos mismos. They start working with cognates and false cognates. No se dice así, se dice así. Oh, now I remember, I saw it with Miss Gonzalez. Oh, no, wait, I saw in first grade, Miss Castro told me that it was this. So they start coming, and you start seeing them coming together. It's amazing because they start connecting everything.
SISD is truly the district that offers many opportunities for our students. Dual language is not just opening doors for our students to become bilingual and biliterate, but it's opening doors for their future.
Socorro ISD makes learning innovative. We fly drones, we take center stage, we take care of the environment, and we learn to take care of our health and become lifelong learners. Our new elementary academies offer unique programs to inspire, challenge, and prepare us for success. Register now at SISD.net and seize your opportunity in Team SISD.
The Socorro Independent School District is committed to helping all students find their voice and achieve their highest potential. We understand the important role that families play in our children's education, and we welcome you, our military-connected families, to Team SISD. With 46 schools designated Purple Star campuses by the Texas Education Agency, the most of any school district in the El Paso region, Team SISD is committed to supporting the unique needs of military-connected students and their families through a variety of resources and services. These include a comprehensive website for military families, a campus transition program, multiple special events, military family life counselors, and a military liaison at each of our 51 campuses who all reach out and serve our military-connected families. Team SISD stays in close contact with our Fort Bliss counterparts to access and share information, ideas, and trainings to provide the best education for our 6,500 plus military-connected students. To assist with the social and emotional needs of our students, we maximize support services by engaging with our school counselors, including our military and family life counselor, and local agencies such as NAMI, the YWCA, Child Guidance Center, local daycare providers, and the Paso del Norte and Meadows Family Leadership Council. We value and greatly appreciate the sacrifice our military parents make for our country, our community, and our children. We salute you, and we are delighted to have the opportunity to serve you and your family in our district. Thank you for being part of our district and helping us ensure that Team SISD is the right choice for endless opportunities. El Paso parents, pre-K to 12th grade registration is now open for new and returning students. Team SISD's pre-K programs offer engaging hands-on learning for young students to build a solid foundation in their academic journey. Join our top academic academies, award-winning fine arts programs, championship athletics, and career and technical education with highly qualified teachers. Register at SISD.net/enrollment and seize your opportunity in Team SISD. Hello and welcome to SISD TV News, where we deliver the latest news about the Socorro Independent School District. In today's segment, we'll take a look at stories and special events from the beginning of the school year. In our top story, the Education Service Center Region 19 announced the Teachers of the Year winners during an award celebration at the Starlight Event Center.
Socorro Independent School District.
Christopher J. Martin, a teacher at Colonel John O. Enser Middle School, was named the 2025 ESC Region 19 Secondary Teacher of the Year. He will now represent the region at the state level.
I just focused on trying to get better every day, every single day, like the football players say. Next game, next day, focus, just get better. And as long as you try to get to be a better person every day, things just seem to work out. It's amazing.
Team SISD welcomed military-connected families during the first Welcome to Socorro ISD event. The event allows families to explore different opportunities the district offers in academics, sports, and college and career readiness programs.
Socorro ISD is the only district that has so many Purple Star recognized schools, and the reason that we have that recognition is because of the services that we provide for military-connected children and their parents. We have a military liaison assigned to every single one of our 51 schools, and we also have all kinds of events to involve them, to make sure that they are connected with each other, that they know who the other military-connected parents are, because often that is the only family that they have in this community.
I think it's pretty cool because it kind of shows different families, the different like resources there are for military, like the MFLACs in the schools and the community and service, like counselors and stuff in the schools for that. I think it's beneficial for military families because there's more stress for those kids, and the constant moving and everything. Like my senior is on her 10th school, and this kind of highlights it and shows us where it's available and what it does.
25th graders at Campestre Elementary School received free school supplies from the Healthy Zone and books from the Socorro Federation of Teachers.
When we found out it was in the morning broadcast and my kids looked at me, they're like, Miss Lovano, us, no way, we got chosen? And I told them, yeah, of course. I told them all the good things about you guys. So they were super excited, and when you guys walked in today, they were also extremely excited just to see the amount of effort and love.
Saying you want to do it and then really experiencing it, it's different. I didn't know the kids are going to react this way. I'm looking at them and then reading the books, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, like I would do this again.
It's really special because we come from a community that is predominantly low income. We are a Title I school at 92% low income. So it's an opportunity for our scholars to receive resources and supplies that are super needed for everyday use, for working with their teachers, working on projects. So it's a wonderful opportunity for our scholars to receive something that possibly their family cannot afford. So those donations, because of our beautiful community, is so welcomed.
So I was telling you, seeing it on their face, the smile on their faces, it's priceless. You know, so these kids are doing bringing school supplies, books, so they could share this for a long time.
Evelyn Perez, a dedicated special education teacher at Eastlake High School, has taken her passion for educating and supporting individuals with autism to the next level by writing 2 books.
I want to create awareness through my books. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to teach children about autism so we could make this a better world. I know it sounds, but that's my goal. It's been a surreal experience. I've been out in the community trying to spread awareness, and I've had mothers who have cried or it's been such a great response.
Team SISD kicked off the Walk for Success program with a call-out event. Principals, assistant principals, counselors, and teachers called former students who have not re-enrolled in school to encourage them to complete their education.
We want to let the kids know that we miss them. We want them to finish their degree.
We want them to get their high school diploma. We want to see them walk across that stage, and we are a family, so we don't want to leave them, out there and for them to be dropouts. We want to make sure that they earn a good living.
Socorro, Eastlake, and America's high schools celebrated their fall festivities with their annual homecoming parades. Many participated and enjoyed the outdoor school spirit.
Very nostalgic. It's my last year, the last time I'll ever march in a parade probably. So it makes me happy knowing that I've kept doing it for 4 years.
I'm excited, very emotional because I've been in the parade like every year. And it's just exciting to see like how I started as a freshman and how my years have progressed, and like just see all my friends here and everyone else.
Have fun because school is gonna fly by, and I didn't believe that until actually right now. I remember hearing that school flies by my freshman year, and I didn't believe it, and now I'm a senior.
That's our show for today. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the latest in the Socorro Independent School District. Make sure to follow us on X with the handle @Socorro ISD. Also be sure to friend us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Team SISD, and visit our website. Thank you again, and see you next time.
En el distrito de Socorro, aprender es innovador. Volamos drones, tomamos el centro de escenario, cuidamos nuestro medio ambiente y aprendemos a cuidar nuestra salud para ser mejores aprendices de por vida. Las academias de primaria de SISD ofrecen programas únicos para inspirarnos, desafiarnos y prepararnos para el éxito. Regístrate ahora y aprovecha tu oportunidad en el equipo SISD.
Hello, and welcome to SISD TV News, where we deliver the latest news about the Socorro Independent School District. In today's segment, we'll take a look at stories and special events from the beginning of the school year. SISD held a ribbon-cutting ceremony to unveil SAC 2. The new stadium was built as part of the voter-approved Bond 2017 program. It can accommodate 6,500 people and will allow the district to host more games to better serve students of SISD and the community.
We wanted to have a state-of-the-art facility. We were kind of outgrowing our previous facility just with the one stadium. We're having to have games in the late afternoon and in the evening, but this alleviates that. Plus, the other one was built about 30 years ago, so we wanted to have updated facilities, state-of-the-art. Yeah, we also have a great fine arts complex within this stadium where we'll have instrument repair. Our fine arts team will be located out here. We also have conference rooms to hold staff development and so forth. So it really is more of a multi-purpose type of a complex for us.
It's all about the kids, and I think it's something that they'll never forget. This group of kids that get to play here for the first time, they're never going to forget this, just being a part of this, the energy, the excitement. You know, they'll have stories that they'll be able to tell their kids, and hopefully 32 years from now, one of them will open up the next facility.
I'm super excited for what it's going to bring to us, a new home to us, a different environment. This year we're not cheering on track, we're cheering on turf, which allows us to do more skills, like more stunts and safer tumbling. But it's really exciting to have something new, and I'm excited to share it with my team.
Hopefully get a lot of help with like college applications and everything too. Hopefully get a lot of help with like college applications and everything too.
This school's been great to us. You know, like I said, Ian's first year was last year. It was kind of rough at the beginning, like I imagine it is with a lot of folks. But no, the school's been awesome. Everybody here has been great.
Sierra Vista STEAM Academy is the second school in West Texas and one of 5 in the nation to earn the National Certificate for STEM Excellence.
STEM is where the future is going, regardless of what career path you're going down. So incorporating the science, technology, the engineering, arts, and math, and really develop those critical thinking.
Don't really want to pay attention when it's just the basic pencil and paper, but whenever I say, okay, get into groups, they get so excited. And then when they see all the
been on a one-year mission, and most districts take a lot longer than 1 year, but we had a goal of trying to get as many teachers certified as possible in 1 year so that we could throw our program into a full bed STEAM Academy as quickly as possible.
SISD teachers, administrators, and staff prepared for the upcoming 2024-2025 school year with professional development conferences, spirited teachers' assemblies, and more.
We didn't hold a district convocation this year, but it's great to see the way the principals have come together to create their own beginning of year activities, bring the teachers together, learn together, again, build community, and look forward to a great school year.
The goal is to actually sharpen their skills in the classroom. Our kids need great teachers, great educators to help them succeed. And really here at the high school, it's not necessarily the end-all be-all because our intention is for them to go to college, but when they go from elementary to middle to high school, we need to make sure that they're prepared to go beyond high school, and it starts at the elementary school level.
Every year it's like a fresh start, so I'm always excited, especially since I teach the little ones. It's always such a fun experience to really see how they come in when they're all so scared to be, at school, because it's their first experience at school. I'm the teacher that kind of introduces them to what school life really is all about. So it's always fun seeing how they come in and then watching them grow throughout the year.
We are very excited to see our little ones this year. It's going to be a great year. We're going to learn a lot and we're going to have lots of fun.
Students from all 6 comprehensive high schools and Options High School were honored and recognized during a summer commencement ceremony.
I'm excited because, I did it. I'm having a graduation. I'm able to walk for my family and give them a nice little celebration. And it's a good celebration for me as well. So it's an exciting day. I'm just nervous because I haven't experienced it, but when I went to my friend's graduation and everything, it looked pretty exciting.
It feels very important to me. It's not something that I would brush off as oh, it's just another thing. I also take a lot of pride in that because my family has worked very hard to get me here and to live here in America.
Team SISD celebrated the unveiling of 25 new electric school buses and charging stations with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. SISD was the only district in Region 19 to receive the $10 million funding for the buses and to build the charging infrastructure from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Clean School Bus funding in October 2022.
It was a big win not only for our district, but for the community as a whole and for the environment of the planet. We're reducing the carbon footprint as we do this, and it's just a big win not only for the district, for the community as a whole.
Major benefit is going to be the zero emissions from the buses. A lot of times we have buses sitting idle in a parking lot, and you'll come across those fumes, and I think that alone is one of the biggest components here, the selling factors on these buses, benefit for our students.
I think we're very blessed and fortunate to have this opportunity because I know a lot of people don't, and I think we could use this as an advantage to ourselves to not only help our community and to help our district, but to also branch out and maybe expand this for other districts and other places.
That's our show for today. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the latest in the Socorro Independent School District. Make sure to follow us on X with the handle @Socorro ISD. Also be sure to friend us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Team SISD, and visit our website. Thank you again, and see you next time.
Welcome to our beautiful Sun City of El Paso, Texas. I'm Rosie Rodriguez, proud school counselor at Chester Jordan Elementary, home of the Lions. We currently serve 791 students, from our littlest Lions in pre-kinder to our extraordinary preteens in 5th grade. At Chester Jordan, we take pride in serving a diverse community with a large population of military and economically disadvantaged students. Because of this diverse community, we take great pride in providing a comprehensive school counseling program that is ASCA-based and data-driven to benefit all students' academics, college and career readiness, and social-emotional well-being. Simply put, taking care of the whole child. I now welcome you to Chester Jordan Elementary, where I show you what a comprehensive school counseling program has done to the positive culture of our campus. Welcome.
Ms. Rodriguez, when I started here at the leadership team, she was one of the first ones who kind of took me under her wing. And that just goes to show that she's not just about, you know, a school counselor for students. She's a school counselor for everybody, for faculty, staff, the community. She's one of the most selfless people that I have ever come in contact with.
She is an amazing human being that truly is heart. She loves the students, the teachers, the staff. She shows it every day. I think first of all with her smile and her welcoming demeanor. She has such an amazing energy. People want to go to her.
One of my top priorities was to build relationships with students, teachers, staff, and parents to know how to best provide support. Staying visible through classroom lessons, making myself available, and providing opportunities to connect truly allowed for these relationships to flourish. And flourish they did. Providing support to students through classroom lessons, individual counseling, check-ins, small group counseling, and referrals to outside resources allowed for equitable access to opportunities that may have otherwise gone unserved. Bottom line, I want our campus to know I am here for them.
She's always in the forefront, ready to help out in any way that she can. You don't even have to ask her, and she's already ready and willing.
So there's a lot of wonderful things about Ms. Rodriguez. She's a wonderful counselor. She's always helping us in small groups, in relationship problems, and everything, in every way possible.
In an effort to address the whole child, a multifaceted campus-wide SEL initiative was established. Advocating for some of the instructional time to be dedicated to SEL time allowed more learning to happen. These lessons became the foundation of classroom expectations and behavior incentives. Becoming an SEL-focused campus brought on a culture of growth and positivity. Including all stakeholders was the next step, so we held SEL nights to help parents and the community know how to better support our little lions.
She goes beyond the four walls of this campus. She touches the parents' heart. She provides support, tools, whatever they need. It really is about, for when I think of Rosie and the way she treats our campus, it's about the whole child. And she still has that for our teachers and staff too.
Advocating for students, teachers, and parents is just as important as advocating for the school counseling profession. They truly come hand in hand. I collaborate with all stakeholders to work with and for students. In addition, I have had the opportunity to implement a comprehensive school counseling program that has been recognized several times at LASCA, as well as recently receiving the RAMP recognition from ASCA. Additionally, not only have our students and campus benefited from this advocacy piece, but many school counselors from all over the United States. I had the privilege to present to school counselors from our district, the state of Texas, and the nation. This shared knowledge will help promote school counseling programs everywhere.
I love her so much. She's really special to me. She's one of the persons that I could always count on. Like, she'll always get my back and everything. I just don't know how to express my love.
She's not just a counselor and a colleague, she's a friend, and I mean that with everybody. She's just an overall amazing person, and we're so blessed to just have her.
Ms. Rodriguez expresses her love not only verbally but physically to the students. What I mean by that is every day she reminds them, students, remember that I love you. And I just want to say, Ms. Rodriguez, we love you and we appreciate everything that you do here at Chester Jordan.
Padres del Paso, estudiantes nuevos y actuales ya se pueden inscribir en el distrito de Socorro para prekinder a último año. El equipo SISD ofrece un aprendizaje práctico e innovador donde sus pequeños estudiantes crezcan en su trayectoria académica. Únase a nuestras academias académicas de primer nivel, programas deportivos, bellas artes y educación profesional y técnica. Regístrese en línea y aprovecha tu oportunidad en el equipo SISD. Hello and welcome to SISD TV News, where we deliver the latest news about the Socorro Independent School District. In today's segment, we'll take a look at stories and special events From the beginning of the school year, SISD administrators and staff participated in the district's annual Walk for Success. Team SISD members went door to door to personally reach out to students who are not enrolled and encourage them to come back and graduate.
It feels great when you bring a student back when they say they'll be at school on Monday to register because you know you reached them. And sometimes it might have just been a little issue, maybe a personality issue with a fellow student or even an administrator or a counselor. But those are simple fixes. It's not a reason to throw away all of your educational career. We are more than willing to work with you. And even if they don't want to come back to the high school where they were at initially, we'll find them a spot. We have, as we say, endless opportunities here in the Socorro district.
It's exciting when the student wants to come back and the mom says, yes, bring my daughter back and thank you guys for coming to our house. And hopefully the student's going to go back Monday morning. She wants to come back. She's eager. She's excited. So we're going to see her back Monday morning. So high school at 8:30 in the morning.
It's wonderful to come out into the community and give our kids hope. Give them an opportunity to come back to school, finish what they started, and let them know that there's many options, that it doesn't have to be them returning back to their high school, that they have an opportunity to go to options if that's what they'd like to do. But I'm very excited.
I've been doing this for 10 years, the run as the district started it. And every year it reminds us that sometimes we're not perfect at the campus and that some kids fell through the crack, and it is our responsibility to make sure that we get them back and get them that best chance at life.
Definitely a little bit more motivated, and I'm just ready to just finish it to get my diploma.
I got a call from Ms. Morales, and she asked me that there was an opportunity for me to go into options, and I took it because I was like, this is my sign, this is my chance to do a little better and see where it takes me.
Team SISD introduced the All In for Perfect Attendance campaign designed to boost daily school attendance by recognizing and rewarding students with prizes and campuses with a traveling trophy.
It's really important that the students are in school every single day. It promotes learning. It also, we want to continue to move the ball forward in terms of our academic performance, and we can't do that if the kids aren't here. So it's really important to make those efforts to bring kids to school every day. So we have this attendance campaign where we're recognizing the top performing schools, bringing them a traveling trophy, and congratulate them on their efforts.
We do promote the importance of coming to school weekly. Through our newsletters, we communicate to our community how important it is to come to school. We also make phone calls, personal phone calls to parents, making sure that our students are okay, that they are welcome to come to school, and making sure that they feel safe.
If you put the emphasis there with the kids and show them that there's benefits to being here every single day, it helps. I think it's helping turn the ship.
We have teachers and aides who really love children, and as part of the Whole Child Academy, it's part of our mission to make sure that they're here every day, to make sure that that they love coming to school. I just got a beautiful email this morning from a parent. We helped them set up at home a calming corner, and we designed it after what the teacher has here. So I think all of that, working with our parents, and I have beautiful relationships with my parents, and so I think that helps too, because they want to come to school.
Team SISD kicked off the Royal Run for Hope bright and early to help raise funds for El Paso families affected by childhood cancer.
It's great. We just to rally around a very important cause, to see the amount of support we've received from all of our employees. It's just it's great to see everybody out here this morning.
SISD 4th through 8th grade students were invited to the Career Awareness Showcase at Pebble Hills High School to help them get ideas about numerous careers, jobs, and guide them to prepare for the future.
The whole intent of this program is to get them excited about a career. And we know that they're going to explore, and they're going to think they want to do something, and then they're going to choose something else. But we have the opportunity for our kids to take electives as well. So not only do they take their endorsement, some of them get multiple endorsements, plus other electives to explore, because it's just as good for them to identify what they don't want to do as it is to identify what they want to do. Because if you can check those off the list, When they get to college, it's going to be a lot easier for them. Hopefully they'll identify that plan of study, and they'll stick to it when they're in college.
56 students from the inaugural P-Tech class at Socorro High School participated in the Texas Tech High School Outreach Day, where students are introduced to various programs that Texas Tech has to offer.
It's very important for us to get them that introduction. A lot of students want to be physicians, they want to be nurses, but they don't really know what that job entails. Having them come to programs such as this where they're hosting high school students, it opens their eyes to what the actual job title is and how they could become a part of the healthcare team. So I think it's critical for the students to understand that very early on so they can make a determination at the end of their high school whether they do want to pursue healthcare or not.
I think this opportunity is amazing because not everybody gets to do stuff like this, and I'm so grateful that I can meet these new people and I can listen to all their lectures and all their experiences.
SISD parents and students took part in the Superintendent's Parent and Student Advisory Councils to discuss the latest developments in the district. The meetings allow the community to ask questions, share ideas, and raise any concerns pertaining to the district.
I think they're super important, and I didn't realize that until being a part of this now. But I think it's very important for the parents to be involved. There's a lot of things that I learned here that I didn't know were happening. So yeah, I think it's very important for the parents to be a part of this and then pass down what they find out, the knowledge to their children.
I really liked the presentation they gave before because it went into different aspects as well, not only in just high school for us, but overall as our district of Socorro.
El Dorado, Mission Early College, and Monwood High Schools all celebrated their fall festivities with their annual parades and pep rallies. Many participated, boosting school spirit in their communities.
I almost cried right now because I was feeling sentimental with all my class doing this one last time. The whole community comes together as one, and we get to see people from all over, like feeder patterns, and I get to see teachers that I haven't seen in a very long time.
That's our show for today. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the latest in the Socorro Independent School District. Make sure to follow us on X with the handle @Socorro ISD. Also be sure to friend us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Team SISD, and visit our website. Thank you again, and see you next time. This past year has tested us in ways we've never imagined. From navigating uncertainty to overcoming challenges, each of us has played a crucial role in keeping our community strong and resilient. Through it all, one thing has remained clear: our commitment to our students' success. As we reflect on the challenges we faced, we recognize the strength of our unity and the power of being all in. Being all in means more than just showing up. It means giving our best every day, supporting each other, and fostering an environment where every student can thrive. It's about going the extra mile, finding solutions together, and lifting each other up during difficult times. Those who are all in inspire others, They show us what's possible when we refuse to settle for mediocrity. They remind us that greatness lies not in the outcome, but in the journey. The journey of pushing boundaries, overcoming setbacks, and becoming stronger with every step. So as we face the new school year, remember this: life rewards those who are willing to give it their all. Whether you're pursuing a dream, facing a challenge, or simply striving to be the best, choose to be all in. Because when you are all in, you're a champion for all of us. Students, employees, parents, and families. We are all in for Team SISD.
Socorro Independent School District has more than 48,000 students in 51 campuses, but we're not just a number. Here, we're cared for, we're loved, we belong. Team SISD is a true Texas public school district that gives us unforgettable memories, traditions, experiences, and the opportunities we need to have a bright, successful future. Want to be a health professional? Once a bulldog, always a bulldog. Want to design skyscrapers? There's an empire for that. Have you heard the early bird gets the worm? Well, that's why they fear the falcons. We don't just rise. This is Sparta. We earn our horns and trailblaze and overcome to be the first and the best. I know. It sounds extra, but it's just our flex. For over 60 years, Socorro ISD has set its sights on our future with vision, innovation, investing, building, and planning to prepare us for the real world. These are our opportunities.
Socorro ISD offers 45 different pathways in CTE. We have added PTECs, Pathways in Technology Early College High Schools. We have 7 advanced academies, and we also, throughout the district, offer 7 early college high school opportunities for our students. So there's a lot of choices students have to make while in 8th grade so that they have a pleasant experience while in high school.
My favorite part of HPA is the fact that we get opportunities to go outside of school and go into hospitals, so we can actually get that hands-on and actually view what is actually happening in the hospitals and clinicals. Since I'm interested in being an RN, I got to talk to actual RNs about their experience, where they're from. We went to UMC, we went to Providence. I also got to do middle schools and elementaries. It really helps you build that understanding of how everybody's different, and you have to understand and care to their needs.
Because it is really a dream that if I was a kid, I would have never believed that I was doing all this stuff that I was doing in the program. They make me feel like family. There's a sense that I don't get in any other setting. When I'm at school, I don't feel like I'm at school. I feel like I'm doing something that I want to, and the day goes by quick, super quick. And it just gives that sense of well-being and family, and it really is a dream, because I would have never thought I would be in the position that I'm in.
The students can select up to 3 different programs or academies that they would like to attend, and through the lottery process, they're placed in those different academies or early college high schools that they choose. We've had over 80% first selection offered for our students.
The Libertas Academy is a law and government program where students can learn how to be lawmakers, law officials, learn about the government, how it was brought up, and basically prepare us for the future in some sort of government professional field. My parents and I, we actually thought it was a really amazing opportunity, even as a high school student starting your freshman year, that you get to start learning about these career fields, and that you get to really experience it firsthand, and you get to learn about these careers that you want to go into and get a step ahead of everybody else. it was just, we had to take it. It was an amazing opportunity.
The Academy provides a really unique experience because it offers students the rigor of not only college, but also like kind of a taste of law school, which is really unique. It's something that we really don't have anywhere nearby. So I think that it's really, really cool that it provides that educational opportunity, but also it provides that community. A lot of people think that we're just all business, that we don't have fun, but we really have become like a family. I really have found some amazing friends, amazing professors.
It's taken a huge investment, not only in equipment, facilities, but also in maintaining our teachers' credentials, getting them training, keeping them up to date with current standards. Socorro has always been known as a progressive district. By what we offer our kids supersedes most other school districts across the state. And I have great confidence that we'll continue to progress with what's leaving our schools.
And we will seize them.
So our dual language program consists of two different types of models. We have the 90-10, which is for pre-K students, and this is where the students are in a classroom with one teacher. Depending on their first language, they're going to get 90% of the instruction in English, 10% in Spanish, or vice versa, 90% in Spanish, 10% in English. And then we have our 50-50 model, and this starts from kinder all the way to 5th grade, and this is where the students have two teachers where they're learning both languages, English and Spanish, 50 and 50% of the time, depending on the taught subject and language.
I can tell you it's full of excitement and engagement. Here the students get to create, they get to express themselves, and they have the opportunity to do it in both languages.
Porque han empezado desde chiquitos, entonces ya llevan mucho tiempo ellos en colaboración con los demás alumnos, y sí se ve que entre ellos mismos se apoyan. Tenemos parejas que son nuestras parejas bilingües, que viene siendo la fortaleza en un idioma, ya sea en inglés o el español, y están con otra persona que es el opuesto. Entonces entre ellos mismos se apoyan, ya sea en el aula que viene siendo español o en el aula que viene siendo en inglés.
I'm proud to say that we have had great success. Right now we currently have serve 4 campuses. Our students have been very successful. So the goal of the program is that the students become biliterate and bilingual. By the time they're in the program, they do achieve great academic level success, and of course they stay in touch with their culture as well. Once the student completes 5 full years in the dual language program, then they can qualify for a Spanish high school credit.
Regardless if they're in the English classroom or the Spanish classroom, they have the same equal opportunities to practice all their domains, the speaking, the listening, the reading, writing.
Ellos colaboran mucho, son niños que siempre van a estar hablando, siempre van a estar participando. Cuando una persona entra a nuestro salón, nunca va a ser un salón que no se escucha nada, y creo que es lo que a ellos les gusta interactuar. Tenemos muchas manualidades, utilizan mucho sus manos, y ellos pueden colaborar juntos, y es algo muy, muy especial que hacen ellos, esa relación también con ellos mismos.
They start working with cognates and false cognates. No se dice así, se dice así. Oh, now I remember, I saw it with Miss Gonzalez. Oh no, wait, I saw in first grade, Miss Castro told me that it was this. So they start coming, and you start seeing them coming together. It's amazing because they start connecting everything.
SISD is truly the district that offers many opportunities for our students. Dual language is not just opening doors for our students to become bilingual and biliterate, but it's opening doors for their future.
Socorro ISD makes learning innovative. We fly drones, we take center stage, we take care of the environment, and we learn to take care of our health and become lifelong learners. Our new elementary academies offer unique programs to inspire, challenge, and prepare us for success. Register now at SISD.net and seize your opportunity in Team SISD.
The Socorro Independent School District is committed to helping all students find their voice and achieve their highest potential. We understand the important role that families play in our children's education, and we welcome you, our military-connected families, to Team SISD. With 46 schools designated Purple Star campuses by the Texas Education Agency, the most of any school district in the El Paso region, Team SISD is committed to supporting the unique needs of military-connected students and their families through a variety of resources and services. These include a comprehensive website for military families, a campus transition program, multiple special events, military family life counselors, and a military liaison at each of our 51 campuses who all reach out and serve our military-connected families. Team SISD stays in close contact with our Fort Bliss counterparts to access and share information, ideas, and trainings to provide the best education for our 6,500 plus military-connected students. To assist with the social and emotional needs of our students, we maximize support services by engaging with our school counselors, including our military and family life counselor, and local agencies such as NAMI, the YWCA, Child Guidance Center, local daycare providers, and the Paso del Norte and Meadows Family Leadership Council. We value and greatly appreciate the sacrifice our military parents make for our country, our community, and our children. We salute you, and we are delighted to have the opportunity to serve you and your family in our district. Thank you for being part of our district and helping us ensure that Team SISD is the right choice for endless opportunities. El Paso parents, pre-K to 12th grade registration is now open for new and returning students. Team SISD's pre-K programs offer engaging hands-on learning for young students to build a solid foundation in their academic journey. Join our top academic academies, award-winning fine arts programs, championship athletics, and career and technical education with highly qualified teachers. Register at sisd.net/enrollment and seize your opportunity in Team SISD. Hello and welcome to SISD TV News, where we deliver the latest news about the Socorro Independent School District. In today's segment, we'll take a look at stories and special events from the beginning of the school year. In our top story, the Education Service Center Region 19 announced the Teachers of the Year winners during an award celebration at the Starlight Event Center.
Socorro Independent School District.
Christopher J. Martin, a teacher at Colonel John O. Enser Middle School, was named the 2025 ESC Region 19 Secondary Teacher of the Year. He will now represent the region at the state level.
I just focused on trying to get better every single day, like the football players say. Next game, next day, focus, just get better. And as long as you try to get to be a better person every day, things just seem to work out. It's amazing.
Team SISD welcomed military-connected families during the first Welcome to Socorro ISD event. The event allows families to explore different opportunities the district offers in academics, sports, and college and career readiness programs.
Socorro ISD is the only district that has so many Purple Star recognized schools, and the reason that we have that recognition is because of the services that we provide for military-connected children and their parents. We have a military liaison assigned to every single one of our 51 schools, and we also have all kinds of events to involve them, to make sure that they are connected with each other, that they know who the other military-connected parents are, because often that is the only family that they have in this community.
I think it's pretty cool because it kind of shows different families, the different resources there are for military, like the MFLACs in the schools and the community and service, like the counselors and stuff in the schools for that. I think it's beneficial for military families because there's more stress for those kids, and the constant moving and everything. Like my senior is on her 10th school, and this kind of highlights it and shows us where it's available and what it does.
25th graders at Campestre Elementary School received free school supplies from the Healthy Zone and books from the Socorro Federation of Teachers.
When we found out it was in the morning broadcast and my kids looked at me, they're like, Miss Lovano,
us? No way, we got chosen? And I told them, yeah, of course. I told them all the good things about you guys. So they were super excited, and when you guys walked in today, they were also extremely excited just to see the amount of effort and love.
Saying you want to do it and then really experiencing it, it's different. I didn't know the kids are going to react this way. I'm looking at them and then reading the books and it's kind of like, oh, okay, like I would do this again.
It's really special because we come from a community that is predominantly low income. We are a Title I school at 92% low income. So it's an opportunity for our scholars to receive resources and supplies that are super needed for everyday use, for working with their teachers, working on projects. So it's a wonderful opportunity for our scholars to receive something that possibly their family cannot afford. So those donations, because of our beautiful community, is so welcomed.
So just seeing it on their face, their smile on their faces, it's priceless. You know, so these kids are bringing school supplies, books, so they could share this for a long time.
Evelyn Perez, a dedicated special education teacher at Eastlake High School, has taken her passion for educating and supporting individuals with autism to the next level by writing 2 books.
I want to create awareness through my books. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to teach children about autism so we could make this a better world. I know it sounds, you know, but that's my goal. It's been a surreal experience. Just I've been out in the community trying to spread awareness, and I've had mothers who have cried or it's been such a great response.
Team SISD kicked off the Walk for Success program with a call-out event. Principals, assistant principals, counselors, and teachers called former students who have not re-enrolled in school to encourage them to complete their education.
We want to let the kids know that we miss them. We want them to finish their degree. We want them to get their high school diploma. We want to see them walk across that stage. And we are a family, so we don't want to leave them, you know, out there and you know, for them to be dropouts. We want to make sure that they earn a good living.
Socorro, Eastlake, and America's high schools celebrated their fall festivities with their annual homecoming parade. Many participated and enjoyed the outdoor school spirit.
Very nostalgic. It's my last year, the last time I'll ever march in a parade probably. So it makes me happy knowing that I've kept doing it for 4 years.
I'm excited, very emotional because I've been in the parade like every year. And it's just exciting to be like how I started as a freshman and how my years have progressed, and like just see all my friends here and everyone else.
Have fun because school is gonna fly by, and I didn't believe that until actually right now. I remember hearing that school flies by my freshman year, and I didn't believe it, and now I'm a senior.
That's our show for today. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the latest in the Socorro Independent School District. Make sure to follow us on X with the handle @Socorro ISD. Also be sure to friend us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Team SISD, and visit our website. Thank you again, and see you next time.
En el distrito de Socorro, aprender es innovador. Volamos drones, tomamos el centro de escenario, cuidamos nuestro medio ambiente y aprendemos a cuidar nuestra salud para ser mejores aprendices de por vida. Las academias de primaria de SISD ofrecen programas únicos para inspirarnos, desafiarnos y prepararnos para el éxito. Regístrate ahora y aprovecha tu oportunidad en el equipo SISD.
Hello, and welcome to SISD TV News, where we deliver the latest news about the Socorro Independent School District. In today's segment, we'll take a look at stories and special events from the beginning of the school year. SISD held a ribbon-cutting ceremony to unveil SAC 2. The new stadium was built as part of the voter-approved Bond 2017 program. It can accommodate 6,500 people and will allow the district to host more games to better serve students of SISD and the community.
We wanted to have a state-of-the-art facility. We were kind of outgrowing our previous facility just with the one stadium. We're having to have games in the late afternoon and in the evening, but this alleviates that. Plus, the other one was built about 30 years ago, so we wanted to have updated facilities, state-of-the-art. Yeah, it also we also have a great fine arts complex within this stadium where we'll have instrument repair. Our fine arts team will be located out here. We also have conference rooms to hold staff development and so forth. So it really is more of a multi-purpose type of a complex for us.
It's all about the kids, and I think it's something that they'll never forget. This group of kids that get to play here for the first time, they're never going to forget this feeling of just being a part of this, the energy, the excitement. You know, they'll have stories that they'll be able to tell their kids, and hopefully 32 years from now, one of them will open up the next facility.
I'm super excited for what it's going to bring to us, a new home to us, a different environment. This year we're not cheering on track, we're cheering on turf, which allows us to do more skills, like more stunts and safer tumbling. But it's really exciting to have something new, and I'm excited to share it with my team.
Team SISD welcome back students for the 2024-2025 school year. Parents, teachers, faculty, and staff were ready and excited to kick off the new school year.
I'm really excited to just kind of start my senior year. I'm really excited for all of the plans that my school does for us when it comes to like the senior sunrise, sunset, and all the things they do to kind of celebrate us for almost finishing.
Back in session. The date is Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. We have a confirmed quorum present, and the time is 9:38. Continue with the agenda. New business. Discussion and possible action to resolve claim and demand from N. Carmen. Mr. Blanco.
Good evening, Board President Nahara, members of the board. Superintendent Vasquez, I gave you an update on the status of this discussion that we had and a mediation with the TWC regarding the charge of discrimination that Mr. Carmen filed. Based on our discussion, it's my expectation that you're not going to take action on it, but if you'll confirm that, if somebody would like to make a motion, you can do so. No action?
No action, sir.
No, no action.
Okay, moving on then to 13B, discussion and possible action to finalize the recommendation of administration and terminate the probationary contract of LA teacher on special assignment at the DSC. Mr. Blanco.
Thank you, Board President Nahara, again, members of the board, and Superintendent Vasquez. This is a follow-up to the proposed action that the board took at the October 2024 meeting. At the October 2024 meeting, the board voted to propose the termination of the probationary employment contract of Johan Almaraz for good cause. Mr. Almaraz was issued notice and a written letter outlining the reasons for the good cause that were determined by the board in the closed session. He received the notice, and we have secured the certified mail return receipt requested, confirming that. We've also confirmed that more than 15 days have passed since he received that notice. No appeal of that action was filed. Mr. Almaraz did enjoy, under board policy and the education code, the opportunity to appeal and contest the proposal to terminate his employment contract. He did not do so. And since that time has expired, it's now a upon the board to take final action. So tonight, we're asking you to approve final action, finalize the recommendation of the administration, and terminate the probationary contract of El Almaraz, a teacher on special assignment at the District Service Center. If I could have a motion to approve that action, then the administration will issue final notice to Mr. Almaraz.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve made by Mr. Aguirre, seconded by Ms. Nájera. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. And the last item, discussion and consideration and possible action regarding cause number 2023-DCV-0629. Mr. Blanco.
Thank you. This is a matter that we discussed in closed session with the assistance of Ms. Leandra Ortiz, the attorney from Walsh Gallego, who is handling this matter. It's gone through a mediation and litigation, and with the insurance carrier's approval from the district, there's been a recommendation to approve the proposed settlement that was discussed in the terms in closed session, and authorize Ms. Ortiz and her firm and the carrier to close this case and settle it on the terms discussed in closed session.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve made by Mr. Guerra, seconded by Ms. Nájera. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The item passes. Thank you, Mr. Blanco.
Thank you.
There being no further business before this board, we are adjourned. The date is still Wednesday, November 20th, 2024, and the time is 9:41.